Final time in the regular season. Hello and welcome into pregame Tomahawk Talk. The Bourne Braves take on the Cotuit Kettleers here in game 40 of 40. I'm Adam Gotkin alongside Sean Brennan. And Sean, last night, the longest day of the regular season, the only doubleheader of the regular season, and a split one at that. Game 1 in Orleans, game 2 in Bourne, but they both had the same result.
They did, and it was a Braves win, but the way that the Bravos won those two games was very different. Looking at game 1, it was pitching that dominated throughout the whole thing. Jonathan Stevens has his first start on the Cape and was just lights out, didn't allow an earned run, and that momentum carried over when Griffin Hugas comes in. He closes out the game, really doesn't give any daylight to that Orleans lineup, and just an overall solid performance. The offense got going a little bit later, added some insurance in that 7th inning, and cruised to a 4-0 victory, and then they head back to Bourne, and it's much different. Bourne puts up 7 runs in the first 3 innings, something that they've done throughout this 7-game unbeaten streak, get on top of teams early. And, you know, Orleans, you got to credit them. They did make it close. They did come back. Zach Crotchfeld ran into some trouble at the end of the game, but was able to close it out. So it's very encouraging to see kind of the different ways that Bourne can win games, you know, dominating on both sides of the ball, and that's expected. You know, a doubleheader, it's out of the ordinary. These guys are used to doing that at school sometimes, but it's not really something that you see too much on the Cape or in summer ball.
And with this being the last game of the season and so many pitchers having to throw yesterday, Bourne and Cotuit, who also had a split doubleheader, we've got a pretty interesting pitching matchup today.
Yeah, for Bourne, it's Kyle Lacalametto out of Houston. He only had 1 appearance on the Cape so far. It was a couple days ago against Wareham. It was a clean inning for him. He walked 1, struck out 1, but didn't allow a run. And then on the other side, it's Aiden Hunter out of Charleston. He struggled a little bit this year, above a 6 ERA through about 13 innings. He did pitch against Bourne before in that darkness-shortened game, if you remember, way back on July 6th. He went 2 innings, pretty solid, only allowed that solo shot to Camden Kojal, so it's going to look to be a tune-up for Hunter before he's possibly going to have his name called in the postseason.
Yeah, that should be interesting. Also, something interesting is this Cotuit team and how recently it has really kind of just fallen off. One of the best teams in the entire league at the first half, but especially over the past couple weeks, a lot of struggles.
Yeah, it seemed like at certain points they just were never going to slow down, but they did a little bit. Ever since Bourne came here to Lowell Park and picked up a big win about a week ago, they went 2-6, the stretch that included a 5-game losing streak. And when you look at the stats, it isn't super clear that things are going wrong. Sure, the lineup took a little bit of a step back. Pitching was solid, but that's kind of the concern for head coach Mike Roberts. He said a couple days ago that he is very concerned with his staff, not because of the talent, but just because of the cohesion and all the guys coming in. Cotuit's gone through 41 pitchers this season, and heading into the postseason, that makes it tough on catchers, you know, having a bunch of new guys throwing. So, you know, with 1 game left, there isn't a ton riding on this game for Cotuit. They have the 2 seed locked up, but I think Mike Roberts would beg to differ because this is another chance for his whole team to kind of build that chemistry heading into what they hope is a postseason run.
And for Bourne, they already have a postseason spot locked up. Still trying to figure out seeding. They need to win and some help to move up to the 3 spot, but either way, on the road in the playoffs. So this is not necessarily the biggest game, and with the doubleheader yesterday, the Bravos will be resting some of the stars.
Oh yeah, and that doubleheader, you know, took a lot out of them. And over the past couple games, Scott Landers has been using a lot of guys in his lineup, trying to get guys ABs before the postseason, and it does say a lot about the depth this team has because there's been a lot of guys performing, but you want to have them rested up heading into that postseason. A lot of regulars are out of the lineup today, and like we said, that doubleheader, you know, you have to use a lot of guys, so there is, you know, they are playing for something. Bourne is, you know, trying to maybe get a little bit higher seeding, but, you know, either way, they're going to be on the road, so really a chance to rest some guys heading into the playoffs.
What should be an interesting one here from Lowell Park. First pitch coming up at 4:30. We'll see you.
After a blink of an eye, we've reached the final day of the Cape League season. It's game number 40, and it comes to you from Lowell Park as the 2016-3 Bourne Braves take on the 22-16-1 Cotuit Kettleers. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network. Alongside Cam Manna, I'm Nathan Schwartz. It's been a wild couple of days for this Bourne team. Right now, what we do know in terms of playoff positioning, they will be either the 3 or the 4 seed in the West, meaning they will head on the road Tuesday for that one-game playoff. It's just a matter of whether they're going to be back here at Lowell Park or whether they'll go to Hyannis to take on the Harbor Hawks.
And it just comes down to today. A Bourne win and a Gateman loss would give the Braves a chance to play Cotuit once again come Tuesday. If the Gatemen win, then Bourne, no matter what, will be heading to Hyannis come Tuesday. And both places, Bourne has looked good this summer. You look at Hyannis, a place that Bourne has not lost yet. There was that tie just a few days ago, and the Braves, last time they were here on the Friday before All-Star Weekend, an 8-1 victory. And since then, it's been nonstop for the Braves. Bourne right now in their last 10 games, they've only lost one 9-inning game, and they also lost the game against YD that was 6 innings. But this is the hottest team on the Cape right now, and it's coming at the right time.
They're 6-0-1 in their last 7, 8 wins in their last 10. And yesterday was the first time in their last 20 where they didn't score first, but they were still able to win the baseball game. And that's come off the backs of guys like Braden Holcomb and Blake Barthel having unbelievable weeks.
And the week that Braden Holcomb is having right now, he will not be in the lineup here tonight, and we'll get to that in a second, but how the Braves are putting in new players right now, a game that's more on the meaningless side, so you don't want to put in all your stars right now. You want to have that rest for the next few days before they get ready for the gauntlet. But Holcomb now 14 multi-hit games, the 13 RBIs, the 10 hits, and the 3 home runs in his last 6 games. He has just been dominant, and it's not just been him, though. Top to bottom, Bourne has got contributions. Last night we saw Isaiah Jackson 3 for 4 in that doubleheader with 2 RBIs. Bourne is finding ways to win in all different parts of this order, parts of this team. Guys are stepping up at the right time.
The starting pitching's been great. The relief pitching has been great. And just looking back at the season series between Cotuit and Bourne, the Kettleers with 3 wins, Bourne with that last win, 8-1, just a week and a half ago against these Kettleers right here at Lowell Park. But in the last 2 matchups, Bourne has only allowed 4 runs against this very potent Cotuit lineup.
Yeah, a Cotuit lineup that has just been very good all season, but right now slowing down. They heated up a little bit yesterday in the doubleheader, and we'll see how they can respond here this afternoon.
Game number 40 of the Cape League season coming up in just about 5 minutes here on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network.
Gentlemen, Lily Wolf.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Lily Wolf. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please direct your attention to field level as we introduce Cotuit Kettleers General Manager Bruce Murphy, who will be presenting the 2 awards for the 2024 Kettleer season. Bruce, take it away. welcome Cape Cod Baseball League Deputy Commissioner Chris Fitzgerald. He's going to be presenting Cape Cod Baseball League Daniel J. Silver Sportsmanship Award. This is what it reads. Daniel J. Silver Sportsmanship Award is given to the player who embodies what the competition in the Cape League is about. Recommended by umpires, this player exhibited a friendly demeanor during times of struggle and success. Let's give a big round of applause to this year's Cape Cod Baseball League Sportsmanship Award winner from the Cotuit Kettleers, our very own Tanner Bash. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what that means. It's time to play ball here at Lowell Park. Good job, Fitz.
Here we go. It's the final game of the Cape Cod League regular season here from Lowell Park, and it's the Bourne Braves and the Cotuit Kettleers. Thanks so much for spending your Sunday afternoon with us here on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network. Alongside Cam Manna, I'm Nathan Schwartz. What an opportunity that Bourne has here today. They've been in fourth place for pretty much the entire regular season, but with a win today and a Gateman loss, Bourne can hop up to that third spot.
And it would also be a 8-game stretch where Bourne would have 7 wins, a dominating stretch, just that one tie against Hyannis. And you go back to last summer, what Bourne was able to do, and we'll talk about throughout tonight's broadcast what the Braves have done these last 3 summers in August and in late July after All-Star Weekend. It's playing their best baseball, and everyone around the Cape League is noticing it once again. This Bourne squad is getting hot at the right time right now, and that's all you can ask for. Put yourself in the best position to play the best baseball when it comes August.
A lot of similarities between the last 2 championship teams and what they've been able to do down the stretch to this team in 2024. And they're going to roll out a lineup today that looks like this. It's a little different than what we're used to seeing. Isaiah Jackson's going to lead off for the first time this summer. He's in center field. Cam Kozel's going to play shortstop for the first time this summer. He stays in that second spot. David Lewis had a multi-hit day yesterday in Game 1 of the doubleheader. He bats third and plays third. Garrett Michelle in the cleanup spot. He's at first base as usual. Tristan Becerra in left field batting fifth. Davis Gillespie, the DH, will bat sixth, with Blake Barthel, the second baseman, batting seventh. Mason Neville stays in right field and bats eighth, with John Schroeder doing the catching and batting ninth against the senior right-hander out of the College of Charleston, Aiden Hunter.
And the Braves have seen Hunter in the past. They saw him a good bit last season as well. He had an appearance against Brewster on the 29th, going 2 1/3 innings. He's been hit around pretty well these last few outings. It's not been the summer that he's looked for after an impressive season at the College of Charleston. So we'll see what he brings to the table here. And the Braves have been doing a good job so far this summer on getting on the starting pitchers here from Lowell Park.
Those 2 appearances that Hunter made against Bourne last year were both Bourne wins. The 1 appearance he made against Bourne this summer was a Cotuit win. That was the 5.5-inning game back on July the 6th, nearly a month ago. And for the season series between these 2 teams, the first 3 games went to the Kettleers. Both matchups at Dorn Park were won by Cotuit. The first one, that darkness-induced game back on July the 6th, was won by the Kettleers. But last Friday on the 26th, right before the All-Star break, Bourne's offense explodes for 8 runs.
And it was an offense that's starting off early once again. We saw the home runs early and often. Blake Barthel had a big 2-run shot the last time he was here. We'll talk about how his summer has taken a different turn since that game here in July.
Getting ready for first pitch here from Lowell Park. Isaiah Jackson digging in to the left batter's box. Cotuit, the home team, wearing their home whites with the maroon caps and the pinstripes. Bourne rocking the road blues with the gray pants. First pitch of game 40 for both Cotuit and Bourne is a changeup off the outside corner, and we're underway at 4:33 here from Lowell Park. Both teams have clinched playoff spots. The 1-0 pitch to Jackson. Hit on the ground to the right side. That's going to sneak past the glove of Nolan Naraki, the second baseman. And Isaiah Jackson, in his first game in that leadoff spot, gets a base knock.
And there's not been a lot of starts from Isaiah Jackson, but we talked about what he did yesterday against Orleans. 3 for 4 in that doubleheader, 2 walks, 2 RBIs that both came in that Game 2 3 for 3 performance. So Jackson now riding this hit streak here and hitting the ball a lot better of late.
Coming in, 6 of his 10 hits this summer were against Orleans, with 3 hits yesterday in Game 2 of that doubleheader. He gets his 11th hit of the season to lead off this ball game. Now we see a pickoff move from Aiden Hunter. Cam Koziel now digging in to the left batter's box, playing shortstop for the first time this summer. Coming in, hitting .255 in 29 games. Hunter working out of the stretch. His first pitch to Koziel, waving a miss on the off speed. Last time that Koziel batted second here at Lowell Park, he hit a home run, a solo home run. On the 6th, that gave Bourne a 1-0 lead. Isaiah Jackson with a leadoff single. He's at first base. And now another pickoff move over to first base. We can talk about this Cotuit defense. From left to right in the outfield, Brandon Compton, Charles Davalon, and Nathan Hall. Timo Becerra, Luke Hansen, Nolan Naraki, Tanner Thash from left to right in the infield, with Grant J doing the catching. The 0-1 pitch, another changeup, another swing and a miss by Cam Koziel.
And back to Jackson with that leadoff single. We talked to him pregame during batting practice, and he said he loves the leadoff spot because he can get those fastballs early. It was that fastball swing he got after that changeup.
I asked him, does he love batting leadoff? He said, I just love being out there, love being able to compete with my guys. 0-2 pitch to Koziel, fastball way up and out. It takes Grant J, the backstop, out of his crouch. Koziel only played in Game 2 of that doubleheader yesterday, went 1 for 4. Now has gotten on base in 25 of the 29 games he's played this summer. Hunter sets at the belt, his 1-2 changeup, just off the outside corner as Koziel makes this count even. Koziel against Cotuit this summer has been sensational. 2 multi-hit games, the 3-hit game back on the 14th, a multi-hit game last time these two teams matched up on the 26th of July. Count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes against him, and now the count full after another fastball misses up and out. Cotuit coming in, they're locked into that second spot in the West Division. They will host the one-game playoff on Tuesday. It's just a matter of whether it'll be against this Bourne team or Wareham. 3-2 pitch, another ground ball to the right side. Naraki throws to second base for the first out. The relay by Luke Hansen, the shortstop, is just late. So make it a fielder's choice for Cam Koziel. Isaiah Jackson taking off the bases, and there's one away.
And what a crucial and impressive play there from Nolan Naraki. He goes to his left side, has to set his feet and turn the hips to make that sidearm throw to second. Important to get that force out, so that fielder's choice kind of resets the inning here, and it doesn't let Jackson get in the scoring position.
And now here comes David Lewis, who's off to a scorching start to his summer with the Bourne Braves. 4 for his first 9. And another pickoff move over to first base. This time it's Cam Koziel, the runner at first base. Lewis, 2 hits in Game 1 of yesterday's doubleheader against the Firebirds. One of those hits, a 2-run single to give Bourne the lead. First pitch he sees against Cotuit this summer is a called strike with the breaking ball. Lewis entering his senior season of collegiate baseball. He'll spend it out in Blacksburg with the Hokies. Coming off a .390 year with North Greenville at the Division II level. Hunter comes set at the chest. His 0-1 heater up and into Lewis.
And all the hits we've seen so far from Lewis have just been smoking line drives to the left center field part of that outfield, and they've just been wheelhouse pitches that Lewis has dominated with.
He's seen a lot of fastballs. He's made a lot of pitchers regret throwing him that fastball. He gets a curveball here, fouls it away to make it 1-2. But for Lewis, didn't start his summer with Bourne. He started it in the Coastal Plain League with the Lexington County Blowfish. Played in just 9 games for them, went 9 for 36 with a couple of doubles and a couple of RBIs. He's since come here to Bourne and made his presence felt. Cam Kozel leads off a first, one away in the top half of the first. The 1-2 pitch to Lewis. This time on the ground to the shortstop, Hansen. He throws to Naraki for out number 2. The relay to first, again, not in time. Jackson with a leadoff single. Now back-to-back fielder's choices for the top third of this Bourne order.
It's almost similar to what Orleans was doing yesterday in game number 1. They got a lot of base runners early and often, but it was the fielder's choices and the double plays that kind of stopped their threats. That's an inside pitch that Lewis was jammed on the fastball, broken bat, but the broken bat slowed it down enough to not have that double play.
3 ground balls to begin for this Bourne lineup with Jackson, Kozel, and Lewis. Now Garrett Michelle steps in. Heading from the left side. A lot of lefties stacked at the top of this Bourne order here today against the righty Hunter. And the first pitch that Michelle sees, he cuts through. You have Jackson, Kozel, Michelle, and Becerra. 4 of the top 5 hitters in this Bourne order hit from the left side. Runner on first for Bourne is Lewis with 2 away. The 1 pitch to Michelle. Changeup off the plate to even it. But then after Becerra, you have a righty in Gillespie. And then a couple more lefties in Barthel and Neville with John Schroeder, the switch hitter, rounding things out at the bottom. Hunter sets his 1-1 pitch to Michelle. He didn't want to go around. He does a little bit too far on the check swing, making the count 1-2.
That's the same spot as that last pitch. There's a little bit more of a 50-50 call and tough up and outside break.
Michelle coming in hitting .217 in 28 games. He's a runner on with a 1-2 count. The pitch is in the dirt. Lewis gets a great jump. The throw down to second by Jay is not in time. What a read by David Lewis on a pitch in the dirt. Jay had plenty of time to get up and make the throw, but because of that great jump, Lewis gets up to second base.
And a play that was still a close call on a really good throw from Jay. It was that jump from Lewis, not the blazing speed, but he did the job.
So now a runner in scoring position for Bourne with 2 away in the top half of the first. No score yet between the Bravos and the Cats. 2-2 pitch with 2 away. It's a curveball down and into Michelle, who's looking to draw another walk. It would be his 18th of the summer.
And I think if you're Hunter here, you go back to that fastball or changeup on the up and outside part of the plate. Probably that fastball that you had those 2 strikes on from Michelle.
Runner at second for Bourne in Lewis. The payoff pitch from Aiden Hunter is a swing and a miss. It's the first strikeout of the afternoon for Hunter in his 5th start as Bourne puts a goose egg on the board in top 1. We head to the bottom half. When we come back, it'll be Brandon Compton, Tanner Thatch, and Devin Taylor due up for Cotuit on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network. Savor the moment with Portside Liquors. Discover a world of fine wines, spirits, and craft beer handpicked for every occasion. From rich reds to smooth spirits, elevate your experience with us. Unwind with excellence. Visit us today at 590A MacArthur Boulevard, where every sip tells a story. Marty Chevrolet is your dealer for the people and proudly supports Bourne Braves baseball. See all our cars and trucks at martychevrolet.com and go Braves.
Hello, I'm Cam Kozel, and you're listening to the Bourne Braves Baseball Network.
Bottom half of the first inning from Lowell Park in game number 40 of the Cape League season. Today we'll round out the regular season around the league. There's a lot of interesting playoff scenarios in the East Division that we'll get into a little bit later. But for Bourne, right now, you're locked into that 3 or 4 spot. You could either come back here to Lowell Park on Tuesday, or you could go to McKeon Park. But a lot more to unfold before that is decided as Kyle LaColametto makes his first start of the summer for the Bravos.
He appeared on the 31st against the Gatemen, was just kind of that first chance to see what he had, and it was solid. It was really a clean inning. 1 inning, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, and no hits, and was primarily a reliever for the Houston Cougars. He had the 5 starts, had the appearances mixed up in those different types of scenarios, but controlled the zone very well with 39 strikeouts to 15 walks.
He'll face a Cotuit lineup that looks pretty similar to what we're used to seeing. Brandon Compton, Tanner Thatch, and Devin Taylor, the top 3. Charles Davalon, Nathan Hall, Luke Hansen, the middle third. Timo Becerra, Nolan Naraki, and Grant J round things off 7, 8, 9. And it will be Brandon Compton, the left fielder, to lead things off. What a season he's been having, and it's been a sneaky good season. He's not up there in the MVP conversation or anything like that, but hitting .326 and second most RBIs on the Cape with 29.
And he has 41 hits, which is also top as well.
First pitch fastball from LaColometto on the outside corner for a called strike. The 42 hits, that's tied for the third most on the Cape, as Cam mentioned. The 0-1 from LaColometto, another fastball, swing and a miss this time by Compton. Quickly 0-2. Compton's also drawn 21 walks. That's the most on Cotuit, fifth most in the Cape. LaColometto working quickly in his first start with the Bravos. His 0-2, fastball just outside. LaColometto made 6 starts with Houston this spring. Overall had a ERA just south of 7 in 36 2/3 innings. His 1-2 pitch from the windup at the bottom of the zone. It's a called strike 3. What a start for LaColometto. He picks up his second strikeout of the summer to send down Compton.
And a really good pitch that moves away from the lefty on that lefty-on-lefty start. And the toughest thing with the Kettleers, they're not one of the top teams in hitting left-handed pitching because this is a very left-handed hitting-heavy order.
They're hitting .269 against lefties this summer, and that brings up Tanner Thatch. Hitting .281 this season. First pitch he sees. It's a fastball, of course, and it's a called strike on the inner half. Thatch just moments ago actually won the team's MVP award. A 1 from LaColometto down in the dirt. He also won the Cape League Sportsmanship Award, won last year by Bourne's Hugh Pinckney at Rutgers. But now in his first at-bat here today, a 1-1 count against LaColometto. Here is that 1-1 pitch. It's a soft liner right to Blake Barthel to the inning's second out, and a perfect time to go around the diamond for this Bourne defense. From left to right in the outfield, Tristan Becerra, Isaiah Jackson, and Mason Neville. Left to right in the infield, David Lewis at the hot corner, Cam Kojal at short, Blake Barthel at second with Garrett Michelle at first. John Schroeder, the catcher today for Bourne. Now Devin Taylor doing the DHing here tonight. Has been a main right fielder for Cotuit this summer. First pitch he sees in game number 40 of the regular season, down low. Taylor out of Indiana going into his junior year, hitting .298 with the Cats in 28 games. LaColometto's 1-0 heater found straight back over the press box.
And from LaColometto here to begin, there's been a lot of pitches low in the zone. We haven't really seen him elevate pitches to get himself in trouble. He's worked very low, belt to knee level right now.
And he's been mainly with that fastball. 1-1, he finally goes to an all-speed pitch. It's flown into right field. Neville going back on the run. He makes the catch going all the way to the fence. And for LaColometto, it's a 1-2-3 start to his first start on the Cape. After 1 from Lowell Park, no score between Bourne and Cotuit in Game 40 of the Cape League season. Keystone Place at Buzzards Bay is Bourne's premier senior living community, conveniently located adjacent to the Cape Cod Canal. Visit us today at KeystonePlace at buzzardsbay.com.
I'm Chris Stanfield, and you're listening to the Bourne Braves Baseball Network.
Convention Data Services, or CDS, is an events technology company based in Bourne and a proud supporter of Cape Cod baseball. Since 1986, CDS has been delivering customized solutions to the global trade show industry. Keep up with CDS at cdsreg.com and follow them on Facebook and LinkedIn. Back and forth first inning here from Lowell Park, the home of the Cotuit Kettleers. Bourne gets a leadoff single from Isaiah Jackson, then go down 1-2-3 after that. Kyle LaColometto goes 1-2-3 in his first inning of work here today. And we start the top half of the second from Lowell Park in a scoreless baseball game.
And we saw LaColometto in that bottom half of the first inning. We haven't seen a lot of looks of him so far, just that one inning back in the 31st. But kept pitches low in the zone, commanded the fastball. You want to see more of that curveball as well, but it was a solid start for the lefty out of Houston.
And it'll be Tristan Becerra, Davis Gillespie, and Blake Barthel due up for Bourne in the top half of the second against Aiden Hunter, who's making his second start against Bourne this summer. His first came back on July 6th. He went just 2 1/3 innings in that one. The lone run he gave up, a Cam Kozel homer. First pitch he throws to Becerra, inside on the breaking ball. Last time Bourne played here, Becerra with an RBI double in the top half of the first inning, which at the time gave Bourne a 2-0 lead. 1-0 from Hunter. Breaking ball off the plate, 2-0 the count. That was Becerra's only hit of that ball game, an 8-1 Bourne win, and their only win against the Kettleers this summer. 2-0 count from Hunter to Becerra. The pitch. Top of the zone, it's a called strike. And for Becerra, riding a 10-game on-base streak right now. Had a 6-game hitting streak snapped in Game 2 of last night's doubleheader. In favor of this count, 2-1 against Hunter. Here is that 2-1 pitch. Becerra nearly goes to a knee, and he swings through it. The count now 2 balls and 2 strikes.
We've seen the bigger swings from Becerra of late, and he's had the big hits, the 3 home runs, but in these counts, you want to see him start to shorten up a little bit more and find that way to go the opposite side of the field.
He's hitting .262 in his first 15 games with Bourne. And now the 2-2 pitch. That changeup with a lot of horizontal movement tails too far off the outside corner, and we'll have our second full count of the afternoon for Aiden Hunter. It'll come against Tristan Becerra, who's tied for the team lead with 3 home runs with Garrett Michelle and Braden Holcomb. The payoff in the dirt for ball 4. And for the second straight inning to begin this afternoon's ball game, Bourne gets the leadoff runner on.
And a team that's been great with leadoff base runners on, so we'll see how that translates here. It was just tough in that first inning. The 2 fielders' choices on the slow ground balls resulting in outs.
And that gives way to Davis Gillespie, the rising redshirt sophomore out of Southern Miss. He's the DH tonight for this Bourne squad. His second straight start, something we haven't seen a whole lot of this summer. But before a pitch thrown to Gillespie, another pickoff move over to first base. Tanner Thatch, the first baseman for Cotuit, does not apply a tag against Becerra, who only has 1 stolen base this summer. Hunter comes set his first pitch to Gillespie, a curveball dropping right into the middle of the zone for a called strike 1. Gillespie hitting .260 in 21 games. This will be his 20th start. 20 hits in those 21 games. 0-1 fastball on a one-hop past the diving Timo Becerra and into left field. The leadoff walk for Becerra, a single for Gillespie, and Bourne's in business.
1 for 4 last night was Gillespie with a 2-run single, and it's just been a lot of one-hit games, and we're seeing it, though, come earlier here in his first at-bat, and that's a really good hit. His ability to pull baseballs but go the other way, those low-line drives, has been the story of Gillespie's summer.
And here comes one of the most red-hot hitters in the Bourne lineup in Blake Barthel, who's 5 for his last 11, dating back to the start of the last time Bourne played Cotuit. That was the day before the All-Star break last weekend, where Barthel in that game had a 2-run homer. Before the first pitch, a pickoff move to second base, but no throw by Hunter. And a prime spot here for Barthel with 2 runners on and nobody out in the top of the second. First pitch from Hunter. Barthel squares to bunt, pulls back. The pitch in the dirt for ball 1. So even though Barthel is scorching hot at the plate right now, maybe some small ball in play here for Bourne.
And it's not a bad idea with nobody out, and you have the first and second opportunity, but the third baseman and Becerra now in.
Both corner infielders in with the grass. Barthel does not swing away, and it's into right field. Here comes Becerra around third, and Blake Barthel stays scorching hot. An RBI single for the Chanticleer gives Bourne an early 1-0 lead.
And it's a pitch that's in his wheelhouse. He goes the right side, a nice ground ball. We just said 5 for 11 coming in, 3 for 6 in his last 4 games, and continuing to see the baseball well. A guy in this lineup that's getting more playing time because of this hot streak at the moment.
Now 6 for his last 12. He's up to 9 RBIs in 21 games this summer. His average has shot up about 50 points in the last week. And now Mason Neville, the Oregon Duck, with runners on the corners and still nobody out in the top half of the second. First pitch curveball, knee high. It's a called strike. Neville hitting from the left side. An even 100 average in 11 games, 8 starts with Bourne. 3 hits and 30 at-bats. He played in both games of the doubleheader yesterday, went a combined 0 for 5. Hunter comes set his 0-1 to the plate. Fastball missing up and out. For Bourne here in the second, it started with a Becerra walk, then a Gillespie single into left, and then Blake Barthel goes pull side past Tanner Thatch to bring home Becerra, giving Bourne that 1-0 advantage. And now the second run just 90 feet away in Gillespie. 1-1, another fastball outside for ball 2.
And we're seeing Hunter right now missing on that fastball to the lefty because that hit from Barthel, he's being that lefty, was a fastball in that wheelhouse. So you can see Hunter now avoiding. There's that lack of confidence on that pitch.
Runners on the corners, 2-1 count to Mason Neville, who sees a curveball. It's in the dirt once again to make it 3-1 in favor of the Duck. And we'll go back to this stat we harped on yesterday. 12 wins for Bourne in their last 20 when they score first. They haven't lost when they've scored first in the last 20. And last night in Game 2 was the first time where they didn't score first, that they were still able to win the ball game. Hunter from the first base side of the rubber, his 3-1. Changeup outside for ball 4. Make it 4 straight base runners to begin the second for Bourne, and now they have the bases loaded.
A great start. It's just this continuous ability for Bourne to find ways to get base runners on. It's very similar to their third inning yesterday. You get the double from Holcomb. You followed up by a walk. 5 straight guys get on, and everybody starts to find a way to drive these runners in any way they can.
Now John Schroeder, the switch hitter out of Florida Atlantic, will come to the plate. But before then, Mike Roberts, the field manager for Cotuit, will come have a chat with Aiden Hunter, his starting pitcher. Some light stretching going on in the Cotuit bullpen right now. Something to keep in mind, Cotuit cannot move anywhere in the standings. They are locked into that second spot in the West Division. They will host a 1-game playoff game on Tuesday. It's just a matter of whether it'll be against the Gatemen or this Bravos squad.
And that's the big question here, and it's a question, too, that is not, at the end of the day, the biggest type of deal because it's just going to be that 1-game playoff. And, you know, teams may have a preference of who they want to see. And right now, Bourne's giving Cotuit a lot of trouble here at home. But we saw the Gatemen come back a few nights back for the second-largest comeback in Cape League history against the Kettleers in an 8-0 game.
Cotuit had an 8-0 lead, even a 9-1 lead. And the Gatemen wound up winning 10-9 at Spillane Field. Now after the mound visit, John Schroeder, the switch hitter to the plate for Bourne. He'll hit from the left side against the right-hander in Aiden Hunter. Bases loaded with Gillespie at third, Barthel at second, and Neville at first. Still nobody out in the top half of the second. First pitch of the at-bat. It's a fastball at the top of the zone for strike 1. Schroeder in 6 games coming in, a 190 average. That's 4 hits and 21 at-bats. He does have 3 RBIs. All 3 came in his first 2 games. 0-1. This time it's a changeup at the bottom of the zone. Schroeder lets 2 pitches go by, and he's quickly down 0-2. Schroeder looking to be the 5th straight Bravo to reach to begin this second inning. Hunter working out of the windup with the bases juiced. His 0-2 pitch is absolutely demolished to deep right. Is it fair? Is it foul? It's fair. It's a grand slam. The second slam of the summer for Bourne. Their first since the first week. And just like that, it's 5-0 Bravos.
John Schroeder on an 0-2 count gets a fastball in his wheelhouse and absolutely crushes it to right field. Just hooks down the line fair. And Bourne continuing to hit the baseball so well here from Lowell Park and striking first once again big in the first 3 innings.
My goodness, what a start to this second frame for Bourne. Still nobody out in the top of the lineup, and Isaiah Jackson. First pitch changeup misses low. John Schroeder, his first extra base hit on the Cape. His fifth hit with Bourne, and it couldn't have come in a more crucial spot. 1-0 to Jackson. Catches the outside corner to make it 1-1.
And it's another player, too, that was kind of trying to get out of a little bit of a slump in his first 6 games. Now everybody 1 through 9 has just been dominating here for the Braves. There's not one hitter in this lineup that hasn't been hot.
Ground ball to second base for Isaiah Jackson. Naraki makes the underhand flip to first, and for Aiden Hunter, he's finally able to get that first out of the frame. It was 5 base runners in a row to begin. Becerra walk, Gillespie single, Barthel's RBI single, the walk for Neville, and then the big fly. John Schroeder's grand slam. And now Cam Koziel to the plate with 1 away. Grounded into that fielder's choice his first time up. The first pitch he sees in his second plate appearance is fouled right to Quinn Stromberg, the first base coach. Koziel has torched Cotuit pitching this year. 6 hits and now 16 plate appearances with that home run on the 6th. He hits a ground ball the other way here, but it's to the shortstop and Luke Hansen. He makes the throw on the run. A nifty second out for Cotuit.
And to have that second out is crucial here. Try to just slow things down, keep this at this 5-0 game early. And Bourne, yet another game where we talk about these first 3 innings. You get 5 runs in the first 2 innings against Hyannis a few nights back. Bourne starts to demolish early last night against Orleans with a 5 spot in the 3rd inning on a 7-0 lead.
First pitch to David Lewis all the way to the backstop. It's 1-0. Lewis also grounded into a fielder's choice his first time up. The 3rd of 3 straight ground balls to begin the day for Aiden Hunter. 1-0 breaking ball off the front foot of Lewis to even this count at 1-1. Since then, Bourne has found ways to lift the baseball. Both Gillespie's and Barthel's hits were low line drives, but still were able to get a little bit off the ground. And then John Schroeder, my goodness, a towering big fly down the right field line. Bourne's second grand slam this summer. 1-1 curveball off the top of the glove of Jay to the backstop. The first grand slam for Bourne was back on June 21st at Gulf Fuller Field against the Commodores. It was Landon Vitterick out of Cincinnati who hit a grand slam. That was Bourne's first home run this summer. 2-1 fastball to Lewis, just foul down the third base side.
And now 7 home runs in their last 6 games for this offense. That has just been a big part of this stretch. The extra base hits, the home runs coming together, and it's a thing that the Braves didn't really have in their arsenal in early July.
Count even 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 away in the top half of the second between Aiden Hunter and David Lewis. Hunter taking his time, and eventually Lewis calls time. You don't see that a whole lot anymore with the pitch clock rules, all the violations that could take place. Hunter trying to bear down and calm himself down after giving up those 5 straight base runners, capped off by the grand slam. Two-two pitch to Lewis. Fouled straight back off the fencing. For Schroeder, looking back at the stats for that home run, 99 off the bat, 407 feet straight away down the right field line for a fence that's about 320 down the line. Another 2-2 pitch to Lewis off the end of the bat. This one drifting foul. It's going to stick foul right in front of the Bourne dugout down the first base side.
And now there's not been one game here this summer at Lowell Park where the Braves have not hit a home run. Cam Koziel in that first one all the way back on July 6th. We saw the 2 the last time these teams were here with Barthel and Holcomb having a late home run. And also every single one of them have gone to right field. It was Holcomb going the opposite way. He went down the line as a righty.
David Lewis putting up a good fight here against Aiden Hunter. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Hunter again taking his time. He gets the sign. He likes it. His 2-2. Upstairs on the curveball. And David Lewis again working a great count here. It's going to be full with 2 away. Lewis has drawn 1 walk this summer. That came on Friday against Hyannis. Hunter again out of the line. His payoff. And it's another foul ball by David Lewis. All 3 balls have been above the zone. The other 5 pitches either called strikes or foul balls have been right in the middle of the zone. We haven't seen the power quite yet for Lewis, but it's there. 24 homers this spring with North Greenville. Payoff pitch, fastball, tails outside for ball 4. What an inning for Bourne, and it continues. The third walk they've drawn in this second inning, and now Garrett Michelle, who's the lone Bourne player not to hit in this inning, coming to the plate.
They'll send everyone to the plate now. In this Braves order, everyone's been on base, been on base outside of Garrett Michelle, so we'll see if he can change that here with 2 down.
First pitch to Michelle, off his foot, fouling straight back towards me. Kojal has reached base, but technically has not reached base safely with that fielder's choice. So 7 of the 9 guys in this order have reached base safely. And now Lewis at first for Garrett Michelle. 0-1, another foul ball off the end of the bat. This one over to the Kettleers dugout. If you're just joining us late, a 5-0 early lead for Bourne here in the top half of the second. John Schroeder with a grand slam earlier in this inning down the right field line. 0-2 count here with 2 away. Garrett Michelle the batter with David Lewis at first base for Bourne. Aiden Hunter the starter. His pitch outside.
And that pitch count rising here for Hunter. He's going to throw his 54th pitch coming up, and we'll see how that is kind of played here for the Kettleers.
He only went 2 1/3 innings in his last start against Bourne back on July 6th. His 1-2 pitch, he gets Michelle to swing through it. It's the second time that Michelle has punched out tonight, and that's both of Hunter's strikeouts here in his 5th start in 2024. But what an inning it was for the Bravos. They get a 5 spot, and it was capped off by that grand slam by John Schroeder, giving Kyle LaColometto some run support when we come back on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network. Kyle LaColometto's got to be feeling pretty good right now. He's got himself 5 runs of support as we start the bottom half of the second from Lowell Park. Alongside Cam Manna, I'm Nathan Schwartz. John Schroeder with that grand slam in the top half. 408 feet. What a pure swing that was from the left side.
It was an inside fastball, and Schroeder demolished it, and it's an 0-2 fastball in his wheelhouse, not the pitch there that Hunter wants to throw on an 0-2 count, and Schroeder made him pay.
Now Charles Davalon to lead off for Cotuit in the bottom half of the frame, and it's a call and strike on the inside corner. We were talking during the break. Now 5 hits for Schroeder in the summer, at least with Bourne. 3 of them have come from the left side, including that home run we just saw, as Davalon fouls off the 0-1.
And that's always a question with a switch hitter, you know, what side's more powerful. And what we've seen from Schroeder, it just seems like the more comfortable swing has been on the left side. And you can see it there. He hit a ball 408 feet on a fastball in.
LaColometto dealing early. His 0-2 to Davalon. It's a fastball just missing low and outside. The first hit that Schroeder had on the Cape came against Brewster back on the 19th. It was an RBI single from the left side, as LaColometto misses on the 1-2. But now Schroeder got to put on that gear, go behind the plate, work as that battery mate with LaColometto, who's making his first start, his second appearance with the Bravos. LaColometto shakes off the initial sign, still waiting on one he likes. Now steps off. And LaColometto's an interesting case. His first years of collegiate baseball was 2019 with Dayton. He played 2 years with Dayton, including 2020, the COVID year. Went JUCO for 2021 and has spent the last 3 years with Houston. The payoff to Davalon. Popped up, left side of the infield. Kojal calling everybody off. He makes the catch, and the newborn shortstop able to make a putout.
And even right now on that at-bat, there were some pitches that Lacalametto missed up, but his put-away pitches have been down. He's working very well belt level below right now. It's the pitch you kind of keep in the ballpark, maybe not always the highest velocity from the lefty, but the location has been there so far.
And that brings up Nathan Hall, the rising sophomore transferring to South Carolina from Clemson. First pitch fastball he sees as a called strike at the bottom of the zone. Hall in 24 games hitting .338 right in the middle of this Kettleer order. 3 extra base hits, 7 RBIs. 0-1, fastball below his knees. And something interesting on Hall, he does have those 3 extra base hits. He hasn't had one since the first matchup between Bourne and Cotuit back on June 28th. 1-1 pitch, it's a slider down low. That extra base hit I was referring to, a double at Dorn Park. Against Bourne this summer, he's 4 for 10 with that double. 3 punch-outs as well in 3 games. 2-1 from Lacalametto, right back to him, past his glove, and into center field. It's the first hit of the night for Cotuit as they try and get some back, down by 5.
And Hall heating himself up before that game against Gateman on the second. He was 1 for his last 13. He has a tough night last night, but now really getting into his groove. And a guy in this order that's been able to add some stability to the 5-6 spot.
Here comes Luke Hansen, the shortstop for Cotuit today out of Virginia. Can play both third base and shortstop. First pitch he sees, he unloads to right center. Jackson on the move, he can't get there. It falls into the right center field gap, but because Hall had to kind of go in between first and second base, it's going to be a long single for Hansen.
And it's one of those plays where Jackson's speed, he was right there to pick it up on that first top. It's not a play where he's going to be rounding and trying to pick it up at the last second. So that also stopped Hall, knowing Jackson had that momentum to come in and make a throw.
So the leadoff man, Davalon, pops out. Now back-to-back singles for Hall and Hansen, bringing up the third baseman, Timo Becerra. The rising senior out of Stanford, hitting .257 across 25 games with the Kettleers this summer. First pitch by Lacalametto. It's that curveball missing down and in. Becerra took over as Stanford's shortstop in his junior year. Hit .298 with 9 extra base hits and 18 RBIs. An OPS in the low 700s for Becerra. 1-0. He sees the fastball. It's in the dirt. Great day yesterday for Becerra in Game 2 of that doubleheader. 2 for 5 with 2 RBI singles at the Gov. And he's now at back-to-back multi-hit games dating back to Friday night. 2-0, fastball. He hits it a long way down the left field line. This one drifting foul, but it is foul. A lucky break for Bourne. That ball just about 5 or so feet foul. Would have been an extra base hit for Timo Becerra.
Looked really close down the line. I think there's definitely a case for that to be a fair ball from Mike Roberts. And he's not happy with the call as it was drifting up in the air and dropped as almost a 50-50 shot. From my angle, it looked very close. It seemed like it may have dropped on the right side, but also tough to see as the chalk fades down that line towards the grass. You don't really have the right angle to make that.
And the home plate umpire, Mike Hinojosa, was the one to make that call. Jake Brichta, the first base umpire. Jacob Ashworth at third base. The 3-man crew today in Game 40. Now a 2-1 count between Lacalametto and Becerra. The pitch, breaking ball off the end of the bat. It's a ground ball to Kojal. He's going to try and get the leadoff runner, and he will. The Cotuit fans along that third base side do not like the call, but what a heads-up play by Kojal playing his first game at shortstop.
That's a really good play from Cam Kojal. You're going that way a little bit. Have to set your feet, though, and make a strike. It has to be a bang-bang play. Hall and Lewis, getting a very good jump to get on the bag, and Hall just out by a step.
So Hall off the bases, Hansen to second, Becerra to first for Nolan Naraki, who's appearing in his first game since the first of this month. That was Thursday against the Harbor Hawks. The Colorado checks the runners. His pitch to the plate. It's in the dirt. Naraki was 0 for 2 in that game on Thursday. He made 2 errors. He was then pinch hit for and hadn't played since until today. Naraki coming in hitting .266 and 94 ABs. And he takes the 1-0 for a called strike at the top of the zone. McCollum Meadows featured that fastball, the curveball, the slider thus far. The 3-pitch mix for the graduate student at Houston. McCollum Meadows set from the first base side of the rubber. His 1-1 to the slider. Naraki chases for strike 2. We've talked a lot about McCollum Meadows' experience. Also started his summer in the MLB Draft League, as did John Schroeder, his battery. 1-2 pitch with 2 away, off his back foot.
For Lacalametto, it was in Williamsport, and it was a 6.14 ERA. Did make 3 starts before coming here to the Braves.
And for Schroeder, he was with the Elmira Pioneers last summer and was with Hunting Valley to start this summer. The Scrappers in the Draft League. 1-2 pitch with 2 away. Soft ground ball, just foul. David Lewis touches it about 5 or 6 feet left of that chalk. Some hard contact for Cotuit in the second inning. Hall's ground ball at the middle. Hansen's line drive into right center. Becerra's long foul ball, which would have been an RBI double, down the left field line. Naraki, a couple of foul balls here. And the count's still at 1-2. And once again, he fouls this one off the end of the bat to keep it alive. Bourne up 5-0 in the bottom half of the second. That 5 spot in the top half of this inning. RBI single for Barthel. Schroeder, just talking about him, the catcher today, a grand slam to straightaway right. 1-2 pitch from Lacalametto. Popped up. Is this one going to stay in play? Schroeder over to the Bourne dugout, trying to get there. Him and Michelle nearly collide, and it hops into that Bourne dugout. Nearly a disaster for all parties involved, but at the end of the day, it's a foul ball.
And it was just a play that was likely not going to happen, but you love the effort there from Schroeder and Michelle sprinting in. It just kept drifting and just fell out of play. And even Scott Landers by the on-deck circle had to kind of move out of the way. Was almost flustered for a second of where he had to go.
He was kind of stuck in between. Do I run over towards the backstop? Do I go back into the dugout? What do I do? He kind of just stayed put and let it play out. But the count remains 1-2. Here's the pitch by Lacalametto. On the ground to David Lewis. Some bobble, but he throws on a hop to Garrett Michelle. The throw not in time. So the bobble comes back to hurt Bourne. Naraki just beats it out, and now the Cats with the bases juiced.
Yeah, that quick bobble was the difference there on that play. At first you think how hard it was hit. Lewis had a chance to even maybe go 2 or a chance to try to beat Hansen to the bag at third, but then had to go to first base after that bobble, and it was just a short throw the whole entire way.
And it will be ruled an E5 against David Lewis. His second error so far on Cape Cod. Now Grant Jay, the backstop. First pitch he sees, it's a called strike on that breaking ball. Jay coming in, the rising junior at Dallas Baptist, a 147 average in 26 games. Lacalametto out of the line, his 0-1. Right back to that slider. Jay lays off. For Jay, the big thing for him, the strikeouts. He's had 40 of them in 26 games. It's a 55% strikeout rate for the backstop. 1-1, fastball, skied to right field. Neville on the move, it's going to drop foul. Couple of close calls on foul balls down each line here in this bottom half of the second inning. Becerra's down the left field line. Jay's there. That one much further foul than Becerra's was. But now once again, Lacalametto a strike away from getting out of the inning.
And another AB right now where he's working away in the lower half of the zone to the righty here in Jay.
Lacalametto looking for the strikeout. Jay, that's the one thing he's looking to avoid here in this at-bat. Lacalametto eventually gets the sign he likes with 5 on the pitch clock. The 1-2 pitch. He tries to paint the fastball in the outside corner, but just misses.
Yeah, 40 strikeouts for Jay this summer. That's been a big struggling factor for the catcher at Dallas Baptist.
Luke Hansen, the runner at third. Timo Becerra at second with Nolan Naraki at first. 2-2 pitch by Lacalamedo. Breaking ball spiked, and now it's a full count between Lacalamedo and Jay. Ball 4 would bring home a run for the Kettleers. Strike 3 would end the inning. Jay looking for that base hit. There go the runners on the payoff pitch. It's a swing and a miss. Lacalamedo picks up his second strikeout, his first since the first batter of the ball game, and he gets out of the bases-loaded jam. We head to the top half of the third here at Lowell Park. Still a Bourne 5-0 lead on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings. They're ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
I'm Isaiah Jackson, and you're listening to Bourne Braves Baseball Network.
Top half of the third here from Lowell Park. It's a 5-0 Bravo lead. That 5 spot in the top half of the second. And now for Bourne in the third, they'll send the guys they sent up to start the second inning. Becerra, Gillespie, and Barthel.
And in that inning, you send 5 straight hitters to the plate. It starts with the leadoff base runner, and then Bourne continuing to be contagious. We saw this with Hyannis, though. Bourne has a 5 spot in their first 2 innings. Third inning now with 5 runs. Now you can't get complacent on the offensive side, looking to extend.
Aiden Hunter remains in the game for Cotuit. First pitch he throws in the third. Changeup just outside. Hunter gives up those 5 runs in the second inning. He's been roughed up a little bit as of late for the Kettleers as a starter. 1-0 to Becerra. Down low. This is the 5th start this summer for Aiden Hunter out of the College of Charleston. His last one came on Monday against the Whitecaps. 2 2/3, 4 earned runs on 5 hits. He's down in the count 2-0 against the 5th hitter in this order, Tristan Becerra. Here is that 2-0 pitch. It's found right back near us to make the count 2-1.
That's also a pitch Becerra wants back. That's a pitch that's right at belt number level and just pulling that front shoulder.
Hunter coming off 14 starts with the College of Charleston this spring at 3.76 ERA. 2-1, Becerra punishes this baseball. It's to right center. It's way out of here. The second home run of the ball game for the Bravos, the 4th of the summer for Tristan Becerra. Make it 6-0 Bourne in the third.
What a shot there from Becerra into the trees in right center field. And Mike Roberts will come out, and that's going to do it here for Aiden Hunter. And the Braves now 8 home runs in their last 6 games. Becerra now with the team lead 4th bomb on a fastball that was letter level and did not miss that pitch.
What a swing by Tristan Becerra. It makes it 6-0 Bourne, and will this be it for Aiden Hunter? Mike Roberts talking with his infield right now and his starting pitcher, and that will do it. The Kettleers go to the bullpen after the second home run of the game for the Bravos. It's 6-0 Bourne. Pitching change right here from Lowell Park. Stay with us on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network.
Savor the moment with Portside Liquors. Discover a world of fine wines, spirits, and craft beer, handpicked for every occasion. From rich reds to smooth spirits, elevate your experience with us. Unwind with excellence. Visit us today at Portside Liquors, 590A, MacArthur Boulevard, where every sip tells a story. Marty Chevrolet, your dealer for the people, proudly supports the Bourne Braves baseball team. See all our cars and trucks at martychevrolet.com and go Braves. Keystone Place at Buzzards Bay, Bourne's premier senior living community, conventionally located adjacent to the Cape Cod Canal. Visit us at Keystone Place at buzzardsbay.com.
Tristan Becerra, 421 feet to straightaway right center field. It gives Bourne a 6-0 lead. Just one batter into the top half of the third. Mike Roberts goes to his bullpen. It'll be the sophomore right-hander out of Rhode Island, and Joe Sabbath to make his first appearance with the Cats.
And back to that home run from Becerra. The pitch prior to that, he missed a pitch in a similar spot, pulling his front shoulder, and then the very next pitch, he gets a pitch that's just in a perfect spot to crush, and it's fourth bomb. Now a team lead. The Braves have a team leader in homers with Becerra. It was a three-way tie between Michelle, Holcomb, and Becerra for 3, and Becerra takes that lead. And for Sabbath here, out of URI, appeared in 15 games during this past spring, a 6.55 ERA, and then a spot here where, once again, another pitching staff has to try to slow down Bourne.
And it'll be Gillespie, Barthel, and Neville due up against him. Still nobody out in this top half of the third inning. Bourne running away with this one in the last game of the regular season. If Bourne were to beat Cotuit here, the Cats and the Bravos would be tied in points, but because Cotuit has won the first 3 games of this series, Cotuit would have the tiebreaker, thus Bourne not able to jump Cotuit in the standings. Davis Gillespie against Joe Sabbath. The first pitch of Sabbath's Cape career, a looping curveball for a called strike. And for Sabbath, as Kay mentioned, 15 relief appearances in his freshman season at URI. An ERA around 6.5. 0-1 fastball sent the other way by Gillespie. That first pitch curveball for Sabbath, 64 miles an hour. Even slower than what we've seen Justin West throw for Bourne at 69 miles an hour. But quickly 0-2 against Gillespie, the DH, who singled his first time up. 0-1, it's back to the fastball. Check swing, foul ball, just to my right.
And just an inside pitch where Gillespie kind of an excuse me swing trying to back out of the way and just hitting off that knob. Thankfully, not in the wrist area.
It was close, but Gillespie sticks with the foul ball, and the count remains 0-2. The pitch, breaking ball, flown to right field. On the move is Hull. He can't get there. It's into the gap. Gillespie into second base. Becerra had the home run. Gillespie follows that up with a double to the opposite side.
His 5th double of the summer. Has not been a lot of extra base hits, but now a multi-hit game for Davis Gillespie. I've not seen that a lot. And another guy, you go back-to-back nights, hitting the ball well, a 2-run single last night, and now 2 for 2 here.
That home run by Becerra still at the top of my mind. But Gillespie with his 5th double puts a runner in scoring position for Bourne. Still nobody out in the top half of the 3rd as Blake Barthel comes to bat. Barthel had that RBI single to right field his first time up. First pitch he sees in his second plate appearance, a called strike. Barthel's now 6 for his last 12, dating back to the start of the 26th game against Cotuit. That game he had a home run. 3 hits yesterday for Barthel between the doubleheader against Orleans. Sabbath checks the runner, his 0-1 to Barthel. A fastball pumped by at 90 at the top of the zone. Barthel now with 3 hits against the Kettleers this summer. 1 in all 3 games that he's played against this Cotuit squad. 0-2. Barthel a long way to center field. Back goes Davalon. He backpedals but makes the catch at the edge of the warning track. Gillespie goes to third, but what a swing put together by Blake Barthel. You can't hit it much further than that and have it stay in this ballpark. It goes 381 to straightaway center field.
And it's 397 in dead center field. But another AB for Barthel where he's lifting the baseball a lot better. That's been the big thing since this hot streak started back at Lowell Park before All-Star Weekend. That's a good swing. You do a job, now 1 down, and Gillespie's 90 feet away.
And there's only 1 away, so Neville now with a chance to drive him home. First pitch fastball way up and out by Sabbath. But all it takes right here for Neville, a ground ball to the right side, a deep fly ball, and it would make it a 7-0 Bourne lead. Neville walked his first time up, scored on the grand slam, and we've got ourselves a balk. Bourne, it's been about a couple of weeks since they've scored on the balk. They did it a bunch to start the summer. And here comes Gillespie to make it 7-zip.
And Bourne just finding a different way now to score. Instead of the long ball, let's go to the smallest way you could score a run. It's a balk.
Still got to find ourselves that exact stat. How many times has Bourne scored on a balk this summer? It's got to be 5 or 6 at this point. Next pitch to Neville, up and in. Count now 2-0 against the Duck, who still wears his Arkansas helmet here for summer baseball. Came in hitting 130 at-bats with the Bravos. 2-0 from Sabbath. Goes back to the heater. It's a called strike on the outside corner. Neville spent his freshman year at Arkansas. 3 hits and 27 at-bats. 2 RBIs, a double, 4 walks. Got a much better chance to play with Oregon this past spring. 2-1 heater, again outside.
And out from Sabbath, he's going to the fastball, but locating it away right now. We saw the same thing from Hunter. You miss too many times on the inside for these big swings. Now you're kind of avoiding that, and you're losing confidence in this pitch.
Another base runner for Bourne, just 1 ball away. The 3-1. Sabbath won't lose Neville. It's another called strike on a heater. For Sabbath, started his summer with the North Adams Steeplecats in the NECBL. A sub-3 ERA in 25 innings across 13 appearances. This is his first appearance on Cape Cod. And his payoff to Neville. It's a swing and a miss. First strikeout for Sabbath out of the pen, the 3rd overall by the Kettleers this afternoon.
That's a fastball. That's a challenge pitch there as we saw Sabbath losing the zone. Paints a good pitch for strike number 2, and then that challenge pitch to Neville, and just he's under it.
Back to the 9-hitter, John Schroeder, the switch hitter. A grand slam his last time up. At the time, made it 5-0 Bravos. It's now 7-0 Bourne. First time he sees Sabbath here today, and the first pitch breaking ball finds the outside corner. That was Schroeder's first extra base hit of the summer, his 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th RBIs. As Bourne has broken it open early. Sabbath out of the stretch, his 0-1 to Schroeder, spiked in front of the plate to even the count. That was the first extra base hit for Bourne in this game. They've had 2 here in this 3rd inning, as Becerra and Gillespie each had extra base hits to start. Becerra with the home run, Gillespie the double to right center. Sabbath deals the 1-1. It's eye level to Schroeder, putting him up 2 balls and a strike. And Schroeder, an interesting note on his spring. He had consecutive games with grand slams back in March against FIU. It was the 9th and the 10th against Florida International. And here he is on the Cape hitting grand slams. Sabbath, his 2-1, a called strike. It was 10 home runs this spring for Schroeder, 7 in his his sophomore year. Did not play in his freshman year. 2-2 pitch with 2 away to Schroeder. It's nearly foul-tipped into the mitt of Grant J behind the plate. It would have been an inning-ending strikeout, but it's not squeezed by the Dallas Baptist catcher, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Schroeder coming off an 0-for-2 game 1 yesterday against Orleans. He did have a walk. Was 1-for-5 against Cotuit back on the 26th. Sabbath now from the middle of the rubber. Again, the 2-2. Hard-breaking slider. Schroeder lays off and the count moves full. Sabbath in relief of the starter Aiden Hunter, who finishes his day 2 innings, 5 hits, 6 earned runs, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts on 58 pitches. Sabbath has since given up an earned run. Now his payoff to Schroeder. At the bottom of the zone, but just below the knees of Schroeder, it's going to be ball 4. A great couple at bats worked here this afternoon by Schroeder. He gets another base appearance, make it 3 walks for the Florida Atlantic catcher.
Third base runner of the inning, and the second one that's really been on base, him and Gillespie. And now Bourne, the 2-out hitting has been so much better. We'll see how it translates.
Now here in the 3rd inning, Isaiah Jackson coming to bat for the 3rd time as we see a pickoff move made to first base. Tanner Thatch does not apply the tag against Schroeder, who has only 1 stolen base this summer. Jackson's 1-for-2 so far. That leadoff single back in the 1st inning. First pitch he sees in at-bat number 3, misses low on the changeup. It's 2 ground balls for Jackson, both to that right side. The first one snuck through the diving Nolan Naraki. The second one went right to Naraki, and he was able to make the throw to Thatch. 1-0 to the plate. Fastball just missing outside. Once again for Cotuit, they're locked into that 2 spot in the West Division. They'll host either Wareham or Bourne on Tuesday. Bourne can get to the 3 spot with a win and a Wareham loss tonight. 2-0 to Jackson. He likes the fastball he sees and fouls it over towards the concession stand. But if Bourne were to somehow lose this game or Wareham wins, they would stay at the 4 seed and travel to McKeon Park in about 48 hours to take on the Harbor Hawks. Another pickoff move over to first. Thatch does not apply the tag. Schroeder back in safely. This Bourne team playing scorching hot baseball. They're 6-0-1 in their last 7, 8-1-1 in their last 10. 2-1 to Jackson. Slider up and out for ball 3.
And it's just that 1 9-inning loss in their last 10 games. A team that's just really been, you could say, unbeatable right now.
And they've loved to drive in runs with 2 outs. 2 outs here as Jackson takes a fastball. He had dropped the bat, was about to unstrap the elbow guard, thinking it was ball 4. He's now got to pick up the bat, put those straps back on, and settle back into the left box with a full count. Tanner Thatch will now go back to his normal spot and depth at first base. John Schroeder will be off on the delivery by Joe Sabbath, the right-hander in relief of Aiden Hunter, the starter for the Kettleers. Already 2 runs here in the third for the Bravos. And now a payoff between Sabbath against Jackson. A long wait between pitches. Here it is. Jackson, a deep fly ball to left center. Going back is Davlon. He has the ball in his glove at the fence. Isaiah Jackson nearly gets his second home run of the summer. He hits it a long way to left center, but Bourne will settle for those 2 runs here in the top half of the third. A solo shot for Becerra. Gillespie scores on a walk, and it's 7-0 Bravos headed to the bottom half on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network.
Convention Data Services, or CDS, is an event technology company based in Bourne and a proud supporter of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Since 1986, CDS has been delivering customized solutions to the global trade show industry. Keep up with CDS at cdsreg.com, cdsreg.com, and follow them on Facebook and LinkedIn.
I'm Chris Stanfield, and you're listening to the Bourne Braves Baseball Network.
Savor the moment with Portside Liquors. Discover a world of fine wines, spirits, and craft beer handpicked for every occasion. From rich reds to smooth spirits, elevate your experience with us. Unwind with excellence. Visit us today at 590A MacArthur Boulevard, where every sip tells a story. Starting the bottom half of the third here from Lowell Park, the home of the Cotuit Kettleers, and the Cats have a lot of work to do down by 7.
A lot of work to do now, and it's an offense that's been struggling here of late, and it's time to now kind of slowly tick away inning by inning right now. A Cotuit squad that's being outscored 56-48 in their last 10 games, and they've been shut out twice as well.
Kyle LaCala Meadows threw 2 innings of scoreless baseball. He gave up 2 hits in that second inning, escaped a bases-loaded jam following an error at third base by David Lewis. Top of the order in Brandon Compton. First pitch missing, up and out. Compton went down looking to begin this ball game for Cotuit at the plate. But what a year it's been for Compton with the Kettleers. Second pitch he sees, he fouls off the fencing of that Cotuit dugout. The count evens at a ball and a strike. Compton riding a 6-game on base streak. That's now all 6 games since playing Bourne back on July 26th. 1-1, another foul ball by Compton to make it 1-2. Going into that game on the 26th, Compton had a 9-game hitting streak. So he would have had another hitting streak there. He had reached base in 10 straight, so if not for that Bourne game, he'd be at a 16-game on-base streak. And he sends one a long way to right field. Neville can only look at it fly over the wall. Cotuit gets one back on Brandon Compton's 6th home run this summer. Make it 7-1 Bravos in bottom 3.
And that's a hanging pitch right there, and Compton made LaCala Meadows just absolutely pay. The second that ball was hit, had the bat flip, knew it was way gone, and a really good start for Cotuit now still early in this ball game to slowly tick away, now with just a 6-run lead.
Cotuit was up 8-0 against the Gatemen in the 3rd inning just a couple of days ago, and then blew that 8-0 lead. Cotuit looking to do the opposite here today. Tanner Thatch waving through the first pitch, breaking ball from LaCala Meadows. For Compton, came in tied for 7th in the Cape in home runs. With 5, he's now at 6. As Thatch now evens the count after taking the second pitch outside. And that's now 30 RBIs for Brandon Compton. It'll keep him 2nd in the Cape. Going into his redshirt sophomore year at Arizona State. Next pitch to Thatch, demolished but way foul down the right field line. And for LaCala Meadows, it's the hanging pitches here in the bottom of the 3rd giving him some trouble.
It was a hanging breaking ball. That one a fastball that's upstairs. And a really hard hit ball there from Thatch.
Now it's a 1-2 count. Make it 2-2 after the slider misses down and out. Thatch ahead of Compton in the home run category with 8. That makes him tied for 3rd in the Cape. Soft ground ball over to the Kettleers first base coach. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. But for Thatch, he hasn't homered since the 17th of July. That game was against the Firebirds. In the midst of a 10-game drought for the long ball. Macalamedo back to the windup. His 2-2 pitch to Thatch. Just off the plate. Now a full count as the Kettleers try to get a little bit of momentum back at least. The payoff, and Thatch fouls it away over the grandstand behind the Cotuit dugout.
And even though it being that home run, it's a leadoff home run, you still now want to kind of feel like it's the start of the inning. You want that leadoff guy on with nobody out.
A fierce wind blowing in right now here at Lowell Park. Another payoff, and this one just misses inside, making it a long walk for Tanner Thatch. He works the at-bat to 8 pitches, eventually will get himself onto first base, and that'll force Scott Landers to come out of the dugout and have a mound visit with his starter, Kyle Colometto.
Likely going to stay in the game here. He's been solid so far, and also you want to also definitely keep in mind playoffs starting Tuesday, so you want to save as many pitchers as possible, many of your best arms as possible. But actually that is going to do it from Colometto, so Scott Landers is going to go to the bullpen early here, and Bourne will be forced to really use the bullpen. We'll see if they bring in a longer reliever out of the pen.
We'll see what the move is. Kyle Colometto exits after 2+ innings, gives up the home run to Compton, is responsible for Thatch at first base. It's 7-1 Bourne. We'll be back with a new pitcher next on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network. Marty Chevrolet is your dealer for the people and proudly supports Bourne Braves baseball. See all our cars and trucks at martychevrolet.com and go Braves. Keystone Place at Buzzards Bay is Bourne's premier senior living community, conveniently located adjacent to the Cape Cod Canal. Visit us today at Keystone Place at buzzardsbay.com.
Hello, I'm Cam Kojal, and you're listening to the Bourne Braves Baseball Network.
Convention Data Services, or CDS, is an events technology company based in Bourne and a proud supporter of Cape Cod baseball. Since 1986, CDS has been delivering customized solutions to the global trade show industry. Keep up with CDS at cdsreg.com and follow them on Facebook and LinkedIn. New pitcher for the Bravos. It'll be the rising sophomore out of Binghamton, Jackson Mitchell, who's going to make his 4th appearance for Bourne.
And the appearances so far have been solid outside of one against the Gateman where he was hit around, but his first he goes 2 innings back on the 15th of July on a clean outing, and then against Falmouth on the 2nd of August, just going 1 inning, 1 strikeout, 1 walk. And in this situation here, still low leverage, 7-1 baseball game, looking to keep it where it is.
Runner at first for Cotuit and Tanner Thatch. Devin Taylor to the plate. He likes a fastball he sees right off the jump at 91 at the top of the zone. He cuts through it. It's 0-1. Taylor flew out to end the first inning against Colometto, the starter. 0-1 for Mitchell. Another fastball this time just outside. Mitchell making his 4th appearance. He's gone 5 innings, a 5.40 ERA with 2 walks and 3 strikeouts. 1-1 to Taylor. Another fastball, and it's off the plate. Taylor, then Davalon with Hall to follow, with nobody out here in the bottom half of the 3rd. Already 1 run in for Cotuit on that Compton solo blast. 2-1, another fastball skied over the grandstand down the third base side. The count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Taylor had that 3 for 5 day yesterday against the Commodores. Is 2 for 12 against Bourne this summer. 2-2 for Mitchell. It's a curveball. It's blooped down the left field line for a base hit. Becerra will field. Thatch stops at second base. And now 3 straight base runners for Cotuit to begin the 3rd.
That whole at-bat, Mitchell goes away, up and away, middle away, and that's another pitch that is away, but it's that curveball. And a very impressive swing there from Taylor, just throwing the hands, doing a job, letting the bat and the barrel head do the work, and goes down that left field line.
Very good swing by Devin Taylor. Just 73 off the bat, but it finds its way into no man's land in shallow left. Bringing up Charles Davalon. First pitch curveball from Mitchell, misses above the zone. Davalon popped out to Kojal in that 2nd inning. He was the first out before Cotuit loaded the bases and then stranded the bases loaded. 1-0, fastball off the plate. This is actually Davalon's first game against Bourne this summer, and he's been on the roster the whole season. Just was on off days in the first 4 matchups. 2-0 for Mitchell. Changeup missing below the zone, and that's going to force John Schroeder to go out and talk with his battery mate. But also for Davalon, you had to compete with Max Ballou, the Big 12 Player of the Year, and the way he was swinging the bat for a week or so there, it was tough to get Davalon in the lineup.
Yeah, and this is a Cotuit team with a lot of depth and a lot of options for Mike Roberts, and it was the right thing to ride that hot hand. And Ballou, not the best summer, but understanding what he did as the Big 12 Player of the Year kind of gave him that step up to play a lot more.
3-0 count, 2 runners on for Cotuit in the bottom half of the 3rd. The pitch, it's a changeup, and it's a called strike at the bottom of the zone. Thatch at second following his walk. Taylor has that single. He's at first base. Now Mitchell with the 3-1. He gets Davalon to foul it straight back, and Mitchell out of Binghamton's worked this count back to full. Some dark clouds here looming at Lowell Park. A lot of wind. Seems like a storm could be on the horizon. A lot of rain expected throughout the week, the playoff week here on the Cape. Mitchell sets on the first base side of the rubber. His payoff to Davalon. Another fastball fouled away.
And it's those August storms, we saw a lot of them last summer, the amount of rainouts that pushed back the Cape League season. It's unusual when you get those rainouts in the playoffs. It is very tough to kind of work through.
But despite the misty weather, a great crowd here for the regular season finale. Mitchell checks the runners. His payoff. Smoked to deep right. Is it fair? Is it foul? It is fair. It's a one-hop off the wall. Thatch rounds third. He's going to score. Taylor stops at third as Davalon gets into second. Now the throw gets all the way to the backstop. Here comes Taylor. Davalon shoots up to third as well. He has himself an RBI double. Cotuit adds 2 more. Just like that, it's 7-3.
And that throw there comes in, and at first you go from Neville throwing that in through the cutoff. Michelle can't cut it off. Schroeder can't backhand it. Mitchell's there, not placed perfectly. Someone has to get a hand on that baseball to slow it down, have that backup. 3 guys couldn't get in front of that, and it forces a run to come in. That's a tough break, and that's a tough play that hurts Bourne.
And for Cotuit, still down by 4, but they've got all the momentum right now. They've matched what Bourne did in the top half of this inning and more. Bourne had 2 runs, Cotuit with 3 here in the bottom half, and still nobody out as Nathan Hall comes to bat. First pitch of the at-bat by Mitchell, a fastball right down Broadway.
And they're going to force that error there on the throw from Blake Barthel. Goes to that far left side towards the backstop.
Barthel's really struggled with his defense this summer. It continues. 0-1, spiked off the glove of Schroeder, and here comes Davalon, the flip to the plate, way late. Davalon scores on the wild pitch, make it 7-4, and now this game a whole lot more interesting.
And now you got a baseball game just like that. The Cotuit squad that we mentioned was in a game where the Gatemen were able to come back when Cotuit was down by a lot, 8 runs, and now Cotuit showing that comeback here and kind of using that and being able to fight. Just consecutive base runners at the moment.
Mitchell's given up the 2 hits to begin. That erred the wild pitch, and now Hall with the bases empty. A 1-1 curveball finds the middle of the zone. Now Mitchell just trying to get an out. The base is empty. Bourne still up by 3. That grand slam, a big factor in this game for the Bravos. Mitchell now takes his time, comes set with 3 on the pitch clock. The 1-2 curveball nearly freezes Hall. Schroeder thought for a second it was going to be a called strike 3, but instead it's 2-2. 4 straight base runners to start the inning for Cotuit. The home run for Compton, the walk for Thatch, the single for Taylor, and the double for Davalon. Now a 2-2 ground ball to David Lewis at the hot corner. He's got to make a long throw to Michelle. He has the scoop, and Bourne has the first out.
Need that first out. Lewis, a long throw, kind of flat-footed, trying to make a tough play. Michelle with a really good scoop, keeping the glove out in front. And it starts with that 1 out. You kind of clear the bases here after the wild pitch, and now Jackson Mitchell can reset and try to bounce back this outing here to the bullpen.
It'll bring up Luke Hansen with 1 away and the base is empty. A 7-4 Bourne lead. Jackson Mitchell out of the windup. His first pitch to the Who is a swing and a miss. Hansen, a .286 hitter with the Cavaliers this spring, a team that made it all the way to Omaha. Virginia's become a mainstay in the College World Series, but a lot of early exits as of late. 0-1, another breaking ball, this time off the plate as the count evens at a ball and a strike. But Hansen, a bit of a breakout year, 15 extra base hits in his sophomore campaign. 1-1 for Mitchell. It's a fastball fouled off of our home plate umpire in Mike Hinojosa. He fires in another baseball to Mitchell. He appears to be all right, but always scary, a very vulnerable part right near the armpit.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of umpires of late be very beat up, but that's the job back there. It's a tough thing to do.
These umpires are doing games every day as well. It's a long grind for them in the heat. 1-2 pitch from Mitchell to Hansen. That's off his helmet. Oh, no. Hansen down on the ground, wincing. He appears to be okay. That gold flow, he flips it back. He's walking down to first base, and thankfully under his own power after a scary hit by pitch.
Yeah, Jackson Mitchell, a fastball there at the head and just clock right off the helmet of Luke Hansen. He goes straight down, comes up okay. He'll take that walk down to first base, but it's also a conversation, too, when you're hitting the head like that. You don't want to really mess around with any head injuries, and if he's not fully okay, it's very obvious to have that situation, have that call to take him out of the game.
Hansen has struggled at times this summer, but just 23 at-bats in 13 games. He's been a very viable late-game defensive replacement for the Kettleers. He gets a start here today in the last game of the regular season. Had a single his first at-bat, gets hit by a pitch in the head in his second plate appearance, and it looks like he's going to stay in this baseball game. He was 1 for 4 with a couple of RBIs yesterday. The Cotuit trainer taking his protection with the batting gloves and the elbow guard, the leg guard all the way back to the dugout. And it's a great sight to see Hansen staying in this baseball game. A very scary situation right there. But now we move our focus to Timo Becerra entering the batter's box for the Kettleers. Becerra had that long foul ball his first time up. Was a 50-50 fair or foul call. He winds up grounding into a fielder's choice. And now has a runner on first with 1 away. First pitch is spiked by Mitchell. Schroeder blocks, keeping Hansen at first base. Already 4 runs here in this bottom half of the third for the Kettleers. 1-0 for Mitchell. Up and in once again. This doesn't clip Becerra, but it makes the count 2-0.
And you think here, it's very far to see the bullpen, but likely Bourne having someone warming up and loose right now is Jackson Mitchell losing the zone.
2-0 fastball, line drive over the leaping glove of Blake Barthel. It's into right center field. Hansen rounds second. He's going to go all the way to third. The throw cut off by Barthel at second base. The Kettleers on a heater right now. It's their 6th base runner of this third inning. Still only 1 away. And the Kettleers have runners on the corners with the tying run at the plate in Nolan Naraki.
Yeah, 6 of the last 7 get on here. You have that home run to begin from Compton. That was the first step. Thatcher, great job walking to start that inning, really start what's happening here. And then Jackson Mitchell right now faced from Taylor on, and it's been troubling with that one out.
Mitchell's given up 3 hits, also hit Hansen in the head here since entering the game. He did get that 1 ground out for Nathan Hall, but it took a scoop by Garrett Michelle. First pitch to Naraki, misses down low. And now you really have to worry about this becoming a tied game after being up 7-0 entering the frame. Cotuit had a comeback victory against Bourne twice this summer. 1-0 curveball in there for a strike. The first matchup between these two teams, Bourne was up 3-0. Cotuit wins 7-3. Second matchup, Bourne was up 7-5. Cotuit wins 8-7. 1-1 for Mitchell. Back to the curveball. Naraki does go around to make it 1-2. And then you go back to the third matchup between these two teams. It was a 3-1 Cotuit win. They had that game pretty much the whole way before Bourne ran away with that fourth matchup 8-1 just 10 days ago. Mitchell comes set, first base side of the rubber. His 1-2 pitch is popped up left side of the infield. Lewis calling off Kojal. He ranges to his left, makes the catch, and that's a big second out for Jackson Mitchell.
And great job from Mitchell there. You bear down after Timo Becerra has a great single to right field. You get Naraki here, and now you have to finish off the bottom of the order. You don't want to let Grant J get on and have Cotuit flip back up with the bases loaded or whatever it may be for Brandon Compton, who started this thing.
Grant J already a strikeout victim here today. He struck out now in every game that he started in this summer. He comes to the plate as the tying run. First pitch breaking ball is a called strike on the outside corner. That was the 41st strikeout of Jay Summer to end the second inning. He stranded the bases loaded. He's got runners on the corners here with 2 away. 0-1. Popped up, but over the backstop, over towards the woods. It'll be a souvenir for some young fans. It clips off a branch. The leaves come falling down. Just like that, 0-2 for Mitchell against Jay. Trying to get out of this inning with only the 4 runs allowed in total. 2 get charged to the Colometto, 2 to Mitchell. Now an 0-2 pitch with 2 away. Fastball below the knees of Jay. The Colometto exits after 2 innings of 2-run baseball, 3 hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts on 50 pitches. Mitchell comes set. His 1-2, it's the curveball. Schroeder thought it was strike 3. It's just inside, according to Hinojosa, our home plate umpire, as the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
A really good pitch that dropped in, just missed inside.
Hansen, the runner, at third. He was hit by a pitch on the head earlier this inning. Timo Becerra at first base with 2 away. 2-2 pitch from Mitchell. Curveball, again, just off the corner. This time it's the outside corner. A couple of close misses for Jackson Mitchell with 2 strikes in this third frame.
But these are consistent calls. These are off the plate. They're just missing here for Mitchell.
Cotuit already with 4 runs in this bottom half of the third inning. A payoff from Mitchell to Jay, and this time he gets that strikeout. A curveball, a front door against Grant Jay, and it ends the threat. But Cotuit responds. They get 4 to Bourne's 2 in the third inning. And going to the fourth, it's a Bourne 7-4 lead here on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
We've got ourselves a whole new ball game here at Lowell Park on the final day of the Kate League season. Bourne was out in front 7-0, now 7-4 as we start the top half of the fourth here from Lowell Park. Alongside Cam Manna, I'm Nathan Schwartz. As always, Jeremy Gay, our producer, doing a great job. Adam Gotkin, if he can get some updates around Major League Baseball or the Cape, we'll get those to you. Some up and down service here from Lowell Park. Adam's relying on the MLB app to get those updates. But Cam Koziel leading off this fourth inning with a first pitch ball against Joe Sabbath, who remains in the game as the reliever for Cotuit. Aiden Hunter, the starter, goes 2 innings, allowing 6 earned runs on 5 hits. And now Sabbath for his second inning of work. 1-0 to Koziel, again down and in. Koziel's 0 for 2, a couple of ground balls for him. A fielder's choice in the first, and a routine 6-3 putout in the second. He's one of 2 Bravos to not reach so far here tonight. Sabbath takes a breath, middle of the rubber. 2-0 offering. Koziel lays off. It's 3-0. And for Koziel, he was hitting the ball a long way in batting practice. We've talked about the tomahawk steak on the broadcast before. Holcomb, his roommate with the host family, has 3 home runs to Koziel's 2. Koziel trying to match that total. He swings away 3-0 and fouls it off.
And the first 2 tomahawk steak dinners were just Koziel, as Holcomb was really riding into this last week and a half with no home runs, and then slowly has exploded in that category with 3.
The Cape League just put out a story on the tomahawk steaks. I recommend checking that out. Good read. And now a 3-1 pitch from Sabbath to Koziel. He goes around. He wanted to check his swing, but there was just too much momentum with that swing for Koziel as the count works full. Sabbath readies on the first base side of the rubber. His payoff pitch to Koziel is popped up down the third base side, and it's way into the grandstand. Nice catch made by a fan sitting all the way on the top row.
And a good at-bat here from Koziel, just working pitches right now, and that's what you have to do here against a reliever that got into some trouble in that third inning.
Koziel looking to break his 0 for 2 to start. Payoff pitch with nobody away in the top half of the fourth. Here it is, another foul ball by Cam. Koziel coming in, tied for third in the Cape in doubles. He was first for the longest time, but now Nick Dumino has 12 for Brewster. Murph Gray, as well as Easton Carmichael, have climbed above Koziel in that category. 11 extra base hits for Koziel this summer. Another payoff from Sabbath. Eventually, Koziel's going to line it into center, and he will break that 0 for 2. It's a single into center for Bourne's shortstop. And now just 1 Bravo remains to get on base in Garrett Michelle.
Koziel wins the battle. 8-pitch at bat. He gets a pitch that was missed in really middle there and drives it right back where it came from.
Koziel's now gotten on base in 26 of the 30 games he's played with Bourne this summer. That's hit number 27 on his season, his 7th against the Kettleers. And now David Lewis, 0 for 1 with a walk so far, steps in, hitting in that third spot for the first time. First offering from Sabbath. Pop-up foul over the press box, headed towards the woods. Lewis hit in that 3 or 4 spot with North Greenville the last 2 seasons. A combined 42 home runs at the Division II level. after hitting 2 with Clemson in just 29 at-bats in his freshman year back in 2022. Pickoff move over to Cotuit at first base. He's back in head first. 4 stolen bases for the Razorback this summer with Bourne. Lewis going into his senior year, transferring to Virginia Tech. We see another pickoff move. He's got himself a chance to win a spot, maybe as the DH. It's going to be funny, him and Michelle both playing first base, both going back to Blacksburg here in about a week or so. Next offering on the 0-1 is a called strike, making it 0-2 against one of the newest Hokies.
And that'll be a competition as well. And, you know, we saw Michelle have a great start to this past spring coming off an injury, and it's definitely going to be a competition between 2 guys that play a strong first base.
0-2, Lewis fouls straight back. You also have Lewis that can play third base. Either of those guys can be a DH. Michelle likely given a chance to start right away after what he was able to do last year in the first 2 weeks, and then the unfortunate wrist injury he suffered on March 1st. 0-2, Lewis chases ball number 1. It's the first strikeout of the inning for Joe Sabbath.
And his second year of this outing on a good low and outside slider. And it's also nice, too, to see teams now with everything with the transfer portal. It's always good to bring in competition and guys still stay put at their school, seeing that with Michelle and Lewis.
Now Michelle. The Hokies heading back-to-back here in game number 40. It's ball number 1 to Michelle, up and out. We also saw Clay Grady, a starter in the middle infield for Virginia Tech here for about a month and a half. His last time with Bourne was that game against Cotuit on the 26th. 1-0 to Michelle in the dirt, keeps Cotuit at first base. Michelle, since we're talking about his spring with Virginia Tech, 14 hits and 35 at-bats. It's a .400 average. 4 homers, 5 doubles, and 12 RBIs. That's through just 2 weeks of the college baseball regular season. He then suffers a broken wrist on March 1st and missed the final 2.5 months. Just a demoralizing injury for Michelle, who seemed poised to have a breakout sophomore campaign. Now he's going to go back to Blacksburg once this Bourne season ends and get right back to it for fall ball. 2-0 to Garrett. That's a called strike on the slider.
And we've seen these 2 last ABs from Michelle expanding the zone early. He's up in the count here 2-1. He's been looking for that fastball. We'll see if he finds it.
Kojo leads off of first. He had the leadoff single here in the 4th frame. Lewis then struck out, the second of the day for Sabbath. A 2-1 count to Michelle, who fouls away the fastball. Michelle's struck out in his first 2 appearances of the night. He's allowed bang on whatever structure that foul ball just hit, followed by the glass-shattering audio effect from the press box. Runner on for Bourne, 1 away in top 4, up by 3. 2-2 pitch from Sabbath to Michelle. Here it is. Ground ball just foul over the head of Stromberg, Bourne's first base coach. It was a 7-0 Bourne lead after the top half of the 3rd. The Kets score 4 in the bottom frame of that 3rd inning. Now here in the top half, still 7-4 in favor of the Bravos. Cam Kojo leads off at first base. A 2-2 count from Joe Sabbath on the mound, the right-hander, to Michelle hitting from the left side. Another 2-2 ground ball down that first base side for the Hokie first baseman.
And this is a better at-bat for Michelle. Those 2 strikeouts in the 1st and 2nd inning were very quick ABs, but you're seeing him now here going to get the 7th pitch of the AB coming up.
A lot of long fights for these Bourne hitters here today. Everybody in the lineup seeing the ball so much better in the last week and a half, 2 weeks. Sabbath from the middle of the rubber. His 2-2 pitch to Michelle. Spiked in front of the plate with the slider. A great block by Grant J to keep Kojo at first. And Michelle now works this count full. Once again, he's the lone Bravo who has yet to reach base in this ball game. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat between the right-hander out of URI and the Hokie in the batter's box. 3-2 pitch. There goes Kojo. It's a ground ball to the second baseman in Naraki. He flips to Hansen for the first out, and there's plenty of time to make that lead throw to Thatch for out number 3. A great at-bat by Garrett Michelle, but it ends in an inning-ending 4-6-3 double play, which keeps the score. Bourne 7, Cotuit 4, heading to bottom 4 on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts, Milton Rents, your local source.
Cotuit with all the momentum here in their home finale of the regular season. 7-4 in favor of the Bravos, but back to the top of the order in Brandon Compton, who had that solo home run to begin that 4-spot third for the Cats. Jackson Mitchell still in the ball game for the Bravos after that rough third inning. First pitch he throws in the fourth, a called strike on the outside corner. Mitchell was able to finish that third inning with a backwards K, his first strikeout. Two of those runs charged to Mitchell in the third inning. 0-1 fastball, this one fouled away down the left side. Lewis over there makes the catch over his shoulder for the inning's first out. Bit of an unorthodox effort by David Lewis. Overran the baseball just a little bit, had to make an Odell Beckham-like catch over his shoulder to get that first out.
A Division II All-American on the defensive side, and he's backpedaling. You kind of have to full extend your arm and backpedal, a good Odell comparison, and holds onto that baseball and makes a nice play in foul territory.
That brings up Tanner Thatch, the first baseman. First pitch swinging, a similar spot on this foul ball. Lewis over by the Cotuit dugout, and again, overruns the baseball, comes back over his shoulder to make the catch.
On back-to-back pitches, and that one too, the reason he's overrunning it is you're slicing in from third base, almost diagonal towards that Cotuit dugout, so it makes sense with that angle to overrun the baseball, but he's responding very well and backpedaling at the last second to make the catch at his hip.
And for Jackson Mitchell, 3 pitches, 2 outs against the top 2 guys in this Cotuit order. Devin Taylor taking on the first pitch he sees. It's a fastball at 90, middle.
And that's huge for his pitch count coming into this inning at 32.
A Bourne team that needs to save as much pitching as possible. 0-1, foul tip into the mid of Schroeder. That's strike number 2. You want everybody available for that one-game playoff. That's likely why LaColametto comes out after 2 innings. Why Mitchell will probably be done after this frame. 0-2, Taylor lets it fly, and it's 1-2. Griffin Hughes went 3 2/3 yesterday, but he'll likely be available come Tuesday night. All the starters should be available. We believe it'll be Ethan McIlvain getting the start for Bourne, whether it be here or at Hyannis. 1-2 pitch, Taylor chases, and it's a 1-2-3-4 for Jackson Mitchell. He picks up his second strikeout, and it's a scoreless fourth between the Bravos and the Cats. Still a 7-4 advantage for Bourne. We head to the top of the 5th next on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network.
Marty Chevrolet, your dealer for the people, proudly supports the Bourne Braves baseball team. See all our cars and trucks at martychevrolet.com and go Braves.
I'm Isaiah Jackson, and you're listening to Bourne Braves Baseball Network.
Savor the moment with Portside Liquors. Discover a world of fine wines, spirits, and craft beer, handpicked for every occasion. From rich reds to smooth spirits, elevate your experience with us. Unwind with excellence. Visit us today at Portside Liquors, 590A, MacArthur Boulevard, where every sip tells a story. Keystone Place at Buzzards Bay, Bourne's premier senior living community, conventionally located adjacent to the Cape Cod Canal. Visit us at Keystone Place at buzzardsbay.com.
Start of the fifth from Lowell Park, and a new pitcher for the Kettleers. It's the rising grad transfer out of Central Connecticut State in Brock Pear.
And he spent this past spring at Salem State. He'll go to Central Connecticut State, which has a very good baseball program. And he's coming into a game here where the pitching staff bear down. We saw Joe Sabbath be able to do his job in the fourth inning after struggling just a little bit in the third. Had that 1-2-3 on one hit.
He finishes his day going 2 innings, giving up 1 earned run on 2 hits, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. And now Pear to pitch the fifth and beyond for the Kettleers. He'll face Becerra, Gillespie, and Barthel to lead off this fifth inning. First pitch of the outing for Pear is a changeup missing below the knees of Becerra, who's leading off an inning for the third time here tonight. He led off the second with a walk, a home run in that third inning, and now he's leading off the fifth. 1-0 from Pear. Skied foul the other way. Michelle now 0 for 3, ahead of Becerra in the order, so that's the reason why Becerra is leading off for the third time here in his third plate appearance. He had that 420-foot blast to right center his last time up. His team leading 4th home run. 1-1 from Pear. Fastball tailing off the plate, and it goes too far outside. 2-1 the count against the Clemson Tiger. Becerra's become nearly an everyday player in left field for the Bravos. Also will spend some time as the DH. 2-1 pitch. Change up again, missing low. For Becerra, that home run he had, his second hit against Cotuit this summer. Both hits have been extra base hits. He had an RBI double against Cotuit back on the 26th. Pear from the first base side of the rubber. His 3-1 hit sharply on the ground to Nolan Naraki, the second baseman. He throws to first, and it's out number 1.
And for more on Pear, 10 games started this past spring, 60 overall innings on a 2.55 ERA. Also had a long amount of innings pitched during the season prior, 43 innings, and an ERA there that was jumping at 6.65.
Transferring to Central Connecticut State for his grad year. Davis Gillespie into the batter's box. First pitch, he sees a called strike at the top of the zone. A great start for Gillespie here today. He picks up his 6th multi-hit game of the summer with a double in that third inning. He also had a single in the second. 0-1 from Pear. Fastball missing down and in. Gillespie had that 2 RBI single yesterday against Orleans in Game 2. He's up to 22 hits and 79 at-bats this summer for the Bravos. Pear working out of the windup. His 1-1 with 1 away. It's a hanging curveball. Gillespie sends it straight to the ground. Against Cotuit this summer, Gillespie coming in 1 for 12 with 6 strikeouts. He certainly shifted that number here in game number 5 against the Cats. Pear again out of the windup from the first base side of the rubber. His 1-2 pitch is popped up to left center. Brandon Compton and Charles Davalon both there. It'll be Davalon in the gap to make the catch, and it's back-to-back outs recorded to start for Brock Pear in his second appearance.
Very similar game here when you go 2 nights back when the Braves had a 5-0 lead against the Harbor Hawks after those 3 innings where the offense was there. Quiet 4th, quiet 5th at the moment here, and they kind of slowed things down to let the Harbor Hawks crawl back just like this. You wonder here, how does Bourne respond to that, understanding this just happened to them, this type of baseball game?
4 batters in a row retired for Bourne, and now Blake Barthel to the plate with 2 away. First pitch taking, it's in the dirt. You had Lewis with a strikeout, Michelle's double play, Becetta's ground out, and Gillespie's fly out, the last 4 batters to account for 5 outs after the Cam Kosha leadoff single in the 4th. Barthel at the plate, he's 1 for 2 with an RBI single. 1-0 pitch from Pear, another curveball, swing and a miss from Barthel. Barthel's now gotten on base in 16 games this summer. This is his 21st appearance, his 19th start in a Bravo uniform. 1-1 pitch from Pear, fastball shoulder level. It misses upstairs to make it 2-1. Barthel broke an 0 for 15 stretch last Friday with that 2-run homer against the Kettleers here at Lowell Park. Had an RBI earlier today, which scored Becetta. 2-1 off the glove of Jay, over towards Cam to my left, but in front of the fencing. One of the Cotuit ball boys running over to get the baseball as the count moves to 3-1 with 2 away against Blake Barthel. Entering his junior year at Coastal Carolina. Was a draft hopeful a couple of weeks ago, now headed back to Conway for his junior season. 3-1, he's going to draw his first walk of the night, his 15th of the summer, as Bourne gets a 2-out base runner.
It was the .386 on base percentage coming in for Barthel. He's just found ways to get on base this summer. Of late, he's been heating up, coming in 5-11, 5-4-11 since that last game here at Lowell Park. And a solid afternoon he's putting together right here.
That brings up Mason Neville, who's 0 for 1 with a walk here this afternoon. That walk came in the second. He would score on the John Schroeder grand slam. And then for Neville, he struck out for the 19th time this summer in the 3rd. Pickoff move made to first base. First one we've seen by Brock Pear, with Barthel being the first base runner of the inning. Bourne was picked off quite a bit yesterday in that first game. 2 true pickoffs, and then Jackson was caught stealing. Jackson was also picked off in the second game, but it scored a run for Michelle. Fastball to start against Neville, and it's a called strike. It was runners on the corners for Michelle and Jackson at 3rd and 1st, respectively. Jackson gets caught in between. Michelle comes home to score before the Firebirds can tag out Jackson. Pairs 1-0. Neville flies it to left center. Compton and Davalon both going back. Compton is going to have trouble getting there. It goes all the way to the wall. Barthel showing off that speed. He rounds 3rd. He's going to score without a throw. Mason Neville with his first extra base hit on the Cape. It's an RBI double the other way to make it 8-4.
Neville just skies a pitch, in and out swing, but just going the other way, and that wind taking it back a lot more. Compton at first, you think he has a play on it. That one hops the wall in left center field. And Neville, as Nathan just said, first extra base hit, and picks up a nice RBI right there, his first hit here in this one.
That ball just kept carrying. And for Compton, he's playing a straight-up left field against the left-handed hitter. With how high that ball was hit, you think he'd be able to camp under it, but it just kept going. And now for John Schroeder, the inning stays alive for him. First pitch he sees in his 3rd plate appearance is off the plate. A 1-0 start to his 3rd plate appearance. His first, a grand one. A grand slam to make it 5-0 Bourne. He walked in the 3rd inning, and now another RBI chance for the Florida Atlantic Owl. Pear checks the runner at second in Neville. The 1-0 pitch to Schroeder. He sends another pitch a long way, this time to straightaway center. Davlin going all the way back to the track. He leaps. It's gone! John Schroeder homers for the 2nd time tonight. This time it's a 2-run shot, and Bourne has double digits. It's 10-4 Bravos.
Schroeder gets a pitch that's low at the knees, but his swing from the left side has been so powerful. That one, deepest part of the ballpark, 397 over that wall. That wind blowing back kept carrying it. Davalon tried to rob it climbing the fence, and Schroeder, a multi-home run game, and has reached base now all 3 times. What a night so far.
It's the first time a Bourne player has homered multiple times in a game this summer. It comes here on the last day of the regular season as Isaiah Jackson takes strike 1 on the outside corner. Now 2 for 2 is Schroeder with a walk, 2 homers, 6 RBIs. He's driven in over half of Bourne's runs here in game 40. 0-1, Jackson a wave and a miss as Pear works up 0-2. It's now 3 home runs for Bourne here in the first 5 innings. 2 for Schroeder, 1 for Becerra. Both of Schroeder's home runs have come from the left side. That last one goes 413 feet to straightaway center field. The 0-2 pitch for Pear against Jackson. He gets him to go down on strikes, and that'll end the inning. But Bourne again strikes with 2 outs. 2 more 2-out RBIs. That's now 23 over the last 8 games as the Bravos take a 10-4 lead into the bottom half of the 5th from Lowell Park.
Convention Data Services, or CDS, is an event technology company based in Bourne and a proud supporter of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Since 1986, CDS has been delivering customized solutions to the global trade show industry. Keep up with CDS at cdsreg.com, cdsreg.com, and follow them on Facebook and LinkedIn.
Savor the moment with Portside Liquors. Discover a world of fine wines, spirits, and craft beer handpicked for every occasion. From rich reds to smooth spirits, elevate your experience with us. Unwind with excellence. Visit us today at 590A MacArthur Boulevard, where every sip tells a story. John Schroeder, how do you do? Another home run here this afternoon. This time it's a 2-run shot. It gives Bourne a 10-4 lead as we start the bottom half of the 5th from Lowell Park. Alongside Cam Manna, I'm Nathan Schwartz. Thank you so much for spending your Sunday evening with us here on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network. We start the bottom half of the 5th. It'll be 4-5-6 for Cotuit. Charles Davalon, Nathan Hall, and Luke Hansen due up for the Cats. First pitch taking is Davalon, the center fielder. It's outside. Davalon tried to rob that home run by John Schroeder to straightaway center field. He climbs the entire fence, but it's just over his reach. Next pitch by Jackson Mitchell, who stays in this game. Misses inside. It's 2-0 to the cleanup man, Davalon. Bourne now with 3 home runs here tonight. 2-0 pitch to the center fielder. Misses inside once again. 2 from Schroeder, 1 by Becerra. Cotuit with a home run of their own, and Brennan Compton a solo blast to begin the 3rd. 2-1 from Mitchell. That's a called strike, excuse me. It's now a 3-1 count. It was a 3-0 start, now a 3-1 count to Charles Davalon. Mitchell again working quickly. This time he gets a foul tip. So make this count full after 3 balls to start the at-bat. Davalon's 1 for 2, an RBI double for him his last time up into straightaway right field. 3-2. Fastball tails way up and out at 91. It's a 6-pitch walk for Charles Davalon to begin the frame. And it's just the 2nd walk that Cotuit has been able to draw here tonight.
And it's nice for them to have another leadoff base runner because you go back to that 3rd inning. It was the leadoff guy with Compton with the home run, but then Thatch walked. They put together that long inning on that 4 spot in the 3rd.
That brings up Nathan Hall. 1 for 2 is Hall with a single back in the 2nd, a ground out to David Lewis at the hot corner in the 3rd. Davalon reaches base for the 2nd time tonight. He's at first with nobody out. Cotuit trailing 10-4 in the bottom of the 5th. First pitch to Hall, foul tip. Schroeder can't squeeze. It's 0-1. Hall transferring from Clemson to South Carolina. One of 2 players in the starting lineup today for Cotuit to do so. Nolan Naraki, who will bat 8th in this order here tonight, is also transferring from Clemson to South Carolina. Next pitch fastball by Mitchell misses, down and out. 1-1 the count to Nathan Hall, the rising junior Gamecock. 3 for 4 yesterday was Hall with an RBI triple. Also had a stolen base. 1-1, that's a swing and a miss. That 3 for 4 came on Friday for Hall against the Gatemen. That 10-9 loss, where Cotuit was up 8-0 once again, 9-1 as well, but then gave up 9 unanswered to the Gatemen. 1-2 pitch with nobody out. Mitchell tries to go to the breaking ball. He misses just low as the count evens. Cotuit's gotten the leadoff runner on just once tonight. That was Compton's home run in the 3rd. An inning where the Kettleers scored 4 runs. 2-2 pitch, right back to that off speed. And again, it misses at cleat level. Cotuit with 4 hits in that 3rd inning. They get helped by the error by Blake Barthel on the throw home. And they even stranded 2 runners on base, 1 in scoring position. 3-2 fastball, that's painted on the outside corner. 3rd strikeout of the night for Jackson Mitchell in relief of Kyle LaColametto, and it's out number 1 in bottom 5.
And it wasn't the strikeouts early, but now he's had 2 in his last 3 batters that he faced, had that 1 to finish off the 4th inning. A really good fastball that just darted in for a strike.
Pinch hitter here for Cotuit. It's Tyler Cerny out of Indiana. First pitch he sees off the end of the bat, right back to Jackson Mitchell. His only plays at first, he makes the throw. That's out number 2. You got to presume Cerny pinch hitting for Luke Hansen because of that hit by pitch off the helmet in that 3rd inning. Hansen stayed in the game, but now Cerny getting a chance to hit. He initially grounds out right back to the pitcher on the first pitch he sees here tonight. And that gives way to Timo Becerra, the 3rd baseman. Becerra's 1 for 2 with a single his last time up. Runner on second now for Cotuit as Becerra flares one into right center. That's going to fall for a base knock. Here comes Davalon around 3rd. He will score easily, and Cotuit gets 1 back. An RBI single by Timo Becerra makes this a 5-run deficit for the Kettleers.
And back-to-back swings for Becerra, being able to just find a gap. We saw that single in the 3rd, and a good piece of hitting there to the right side to bring in a run and respond after another big Bourne inning.
An RBI single for Becerra, another multi-hit game for the Stanford Cardinal. They get 3 consecutive multi-hit games for Becerra. Now Nolan Naraki takes strike 1 on the inside corner. Cotuit showing some response in this game. After Bourne scores 2 in the 3rd, Cotuit scores 4. Bourne another 2 in the top half of this inning. Cotuit gets 1 back right there on Becerra's hit. Next pitch from Mitchell. Mitchell misses outside. The count now even at a ball and a strike. Naraki's 0 for 2, reached on an error in the 2nd by David Lewis, then popped out to Lewis in that 3rd frame for the 2nd out of that inning. Bourne up 10-5 in bottom 5. There goes the runner in Becerra on the next pitch. The tag by Barthel at second base. Have a day, John Schroeder. He throws out a runner on the same day he hits 2 home runs. He's doing it all for Bourne here on the final day of the Cape League season as the Bravos take a 10-5 lead to the top half of the 6th. When we come back, Cam Manna will take over on play-by-play and take you the rest of the way. Stick with us here in the Bourne Braves Baseball Network. Marty Chevrolet is your dealer for the people and proudly supports Bourne Braves baseball. See all our cars and trucks at martychevrolet.com and go Braves.
I'm Chris Stanfield, and you're listening to the Bourne Braves Baseball Network.
Keystone Place at Buzzards Bay is Bourne's premier senior living community, conveniently located adjacent to the Cape Cod Canal. Visit us today at KeystonePlace at buzzardsbay.com. Convention Data Services, or CDS, is an events technology company based in Bourne and a proud supporter of Cape Cod baseball. Since 1986, CDS has been delivering customized solutions to the global trade show industry. Keep up with CDS at cdsreg.com and follow them on Facebook and LinkedIn.
The fifth and final regular season meeting between Cotuit and Bourne comes in game number 40 of the regular season. This will do it before Tuesday and a one-game playoff where Bourne could see Cotuit here at Lowell Park, but a Braves win would make that a lot more likely. And we've talked that a lot tonight. The Gatemen playing later on, actually just beginning, and that score will depend on what happens come Tuesday. At the moment, the Falmouth Commodores are ahead over Wareham 4-1. So if that holds on and this holds on, Bourne would come back to Lowell Park on Tuesday. Top of the sixth inning, Brock Pear back on the bump for his second inning and his first full inning of work. And it's 2-3-4 for the Braves. Here's the lefty and Cam Kozel. Pear from the windup. Darts the first pitch on the outer half, in for a strike. A single for Kozel back in the fourth. One of the Braves' 9 hits here tonight. John Schroeder with 2 home runs. Tristan Becerra has left the yard as well. 0-1, spiked and then off the helmet of the home plate umpire in Mike Hinojosa, and darts the ball back to the pitcher in Brock Pear. Second time our home plate ump has been nipped up here tonight.
And these guys are warriors behind the plate. They do it all. They take a lot of foul balls, sometimes balls that just spike in the dirt like it did just right there. And it not so much today, but throughout the summer they're having to fight through the heat. They're wearing all that gear, and it's tough. You know, they are making a lot of tough calls, but these guys are some of the best collegiate umpires around the nation.
Hinojosa back in set as well as Pear. It's a 1-1 count. Kozel the leadoff man on the Braves' 10-5 lead. Here's the pitch. Fastball sails outside. 30th game of the summer for Cam Kozel. Picked up his 27th hit, has reached base twice, once safely. Pear at 6'5", rocks and deals in the 2-1. Breaking ball in there for a strike on the lower half. That's where he's been on this AB. Third pitcher of the night for the Kettleers. Hunter and Sabat just 2 innings apiece on 7 total runs. Kozel back in the box, 2-2. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball grounded right side, right at Naraki. He stays low, throws to first, and it's out number 1.
A lot of ground balls induced by this Cotuit staff here today. But on the flip side of that, Bourne gets those 3 long balls. They get the couple of doubles. But when there has been outs for Cotuit, they've been getting a lot of hard contact from these Bourne hitters.
There was 1 ground ball out back in the 5th inning, but Bourne had the 3 consecutive base runners. Mason DeVille's double last inning, and then John Schroeder with a home run. Here's David Lewis in this 3 spot. First pitch of the Hokie. Sees a strike at the letters. Walked back in the second is Lewis, just his 5th game of the summer. A firing start coming in 4 for 9. Looking for his first hit here tonight. Pear the high leg kick. 0-1 breaker in the bucket. It's 0-2. Pear transferring to Central Connecticut State at the Division I level this coming fall. 11 starts with a 2.25 ERA for Salem State this past spring. Looking for his first punch out as Lewis skies one. Right field into foul territory. Over is Hall. Hall has some room, but not enough. And this one will drop foul. We've seen the Braves go the other way a couple of times. They've been the big swings. One of Schroeder's home runs to right field. Becerra went to right center. 9 hits for the Braves. The 2 errors have also bothered them as Cotuit fighting back down by 5. The tall David Lewis steps back in. Pairs 0-2. Lewis a liner and picks up his 5th hit of his early stint here in Bourne, and it's another rope to left field.
We've seen all of his hits be pull side singles. Not a bad thing at the end of the day when you're hitting the ball that hard. 83 off the bat, top of the zone. You see a pitch in your wheelhouse and you go after it. That's been what Lewis is doing. Great pitch selection for him in his first week with the Bravos.
Garrett Michelle looking to join this hit party. 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. As Pear picks over, and it gets past Thatch, so Lewis will advance to second base. He looks for third base, takes the turn, here he comes. Thatch the throw to third base, will not be in time. Lewis in there on the head first slide. We saw the heads-up base running early from Lewis in the first, advancing on a wild pitch. Errant throw from Pear, Lewis advances 2 bags, and he's 90 feet away with 1 down.
Forcing a miscue. We've seen a lot of pickoff attempts against Bourne here tonight to no avail, but right there, Lewis, who doesn't steal a whole lot of the bases, forces a throw and winds up at third base following the E1.
So Michelle with Lewis 90 feet away for the 2 Hokies. First pitch to Garrett, a big swing and a miss. That double play for Michelle in the 4th, though, was a rope right at the second baseman in Iraqi on the 4-6-3. Riding in on a 5-game hit streak is Michelle. That's threatening here. Pair a deep breath from the stretch. 0-1. Michelle, ground ball right side. What a play from Naraki. Slides, makes the play, but Lewis will waltz in and score. So Michelle does pick up an RBI. It makes it 11-5 Bourne, and another hard hit ball to the right side for Michelle.
Yeah, just unfortunately right at Nolan Naraki. It gets past Tanner Thatch initially. It's 93 off the bat. It's a rope, but it goes straight into the ground. But now, even though Michelle doesn't get that base hit, he has an RBI, so definitely a positive for him as Bourne makes it 11-5.
Tristan Becerra here with 2 down. He's been a part of this offense here in this one, and he skies one to left field, relatively deep, but Compton is there. Will make the left-handed grab, and it ends the top half of the 6th inning. But the Braves get one more, their 11th run on the RBI ground out to Garrett Michelle. We'll head to bottom 6 here from Lowell Park. The Braves commanding over the Kettleers in game number 40.
Hello, I'm Cam Kozel, and you're listening to the Bourne Braves Baseball Network.
The second call to the bullpen for the Bourne Braves as we enter bottom 6. It's Packy Bradley Cooney, transferring to Alabama from Campbell. He'll make his 4th appearance of the summer as the Braves an 11-5 lead over the Kettleers.
And for Packy, his first one was great. The last 2 not so much. His last one against the Gatemen on Wednesday, an inning, just one hit, but 2 earned runs. The walks were the issue there for Bradley Cooney. 4 of them. He struck out 2 after his last appearance against the Gatemen was also a struggle. Now he gets a chance to face a new team for the first time in nearly 3 weeks. It'll be against the Kettleers.
He'll face 8-9-1. Naraki, Jay, and then the top of the order in Brandon Compton. Bradley Cooney comes in with a 6.35 ERA, 9 punch-outs to 7 walks. The righty from the windup. Turns his body to the left side. He starts closed, winds and deals, and a fastball at the shins to Naraki. The second baseman's 0 for 2. Reached on an E5 back in the second inning. That's when Cotuit had the bases loaded and 1 out. Here's the 1-0 offering. Check swing. Going around is Naraki. The rising senior out of Clemson hit .264 this spring with 24 RBIs. Ended July hitting 4 for 9. And now 0 for 4 here to start the month of August. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Bradley Cooney. Fastball spiked. It's 2-1.
And for Bradley Cooney, you're only going to see those 2 pitches, the fastball and the slider, meaning the location for him has got to be on the top of his mind as a priority.
The righty Naraki steps back in. Feet shoulder width as the 2-1 pitch. It's a breaking ball at 81 on the outer half. It's a 2-2 count. For Campbell this spring, he went 2-0 with a 6 ERA, 39 innings. Control was not a big issue on 53 strikeouts to 28 walks. 2-2 to the leadoff man here in bottom 6. Here's the pitch. It's Sky down the line in right field. Foul territory. Neville comes over, and he's going to have enough room. He makes the catch, rumbling into the right field wall, and that's out number 1.
Big first out for Bradley Cooney, and it's just getting ahead of these hitters where he struggled against the Gatemen. In that 7th inning, he threw. He gets the first 2 outs. He looks good, but then it was that 8th inning when he came back out that he really struggled. It was 3 walks and a single. So good for him to get the first out. Now you can focus against the 9-hitter in Grant J.
The backstop at a Dallas Baptist. First pitch to the righty. Pops it up. First base side foul territory. Michelle has room by the first base coaching box and makes the catch for a quick out number 2, both in foul territory. That's similar going back to the 4th inning on the 1-2-3 for Jackson Mitchell. David Lewis at third base had 2 putouts in foul territory.
And again, just getting guys to be aggressive on first pitches and getting those foul balls. Great plays by both Neville and Michelle for a quick 2 outs.
Top of the order in Brandon Compton. First pitch to the lefty Sun Devil. He fouls it straight back on the heater. Compton had the solo shot in the 3rd that got things going for the Cats. They were down 7-0, but then a 4 spot. Compton began it. Tanner Thatch the walk, and then the rest was history there. Bradley Cooney sets up, glove at his face. Middle of the rubber. Then the 0-1 offering. Compton laces it to center field. Here comes Jackson, his Sun Devil teammate, and it drops in for a single. It's the 8th hit of the night for the Kettleers, the 2nd for Compton. They have a 2-out base runner.
And the strong summer for Compton continues. That's now 44 hits for him. He picks up yet another multi-hit game. And this is a guy that comes in top 10 in the Cape in nearly every major offensive category. Just doing it all for Cotuit and doing it today in that leadoff spot.
Tanner Thatch. This was the part of the order that did damage in that 3rd inning. The lefty with the wide stance, bat on his shoulder. First pitch breaking ball at the belt from Bradley Cooney. Thatch the walk, a line out, and a pop out so far tonight. Earlier on in this one, won the Sportsmanship Award and Cotuit's Most Valuable Player this summer for the 2nd place team in the West Division. Thatch fouls off the 0-1 over the grandstands on the 3rd base side, and Bradley Cooney a pitch away. Bourne struck first, 5 runs in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, and a 3 spot in the 5th. A team that is not lost in their last 20 games when they have scored first. Bradley Cooney leans in now, stands tall from the stretch. 2-step lead for Compton off first base. And the 0-2 to Thatch. Fastball just laces outside. SEC is where Bradley Cooney is going to go and keep kind of the perfect stop right before fall ball to have that competition slated in front of him. Things over at the look at first base. Compton only 3 stolen bases this summer, now barely off the back. 1-2 bounces off the plate. John Schroeder can't block it. It rolls past him on the right side, and advancing 90 feet is Compton in scoring position.
And Cotuit are going to take everything they can get at this point. Down by 6, going to take a massive comeback. So great jump by Compton to get to second base as Cotuit tries to chip away.
Thatch with the 25 RBIs this summer. Has Compton there. The Braves lead this Cotuit squad in game 40, 11-5. 2-2, 2 down. And a runner on as the wind blows in here from Lowell Park. Bradley Cooney looks at second. The pitch swipes in for strike 3. What a spot for Bradley Cooney on the outer half. Puts down Thatch. It's his first punch out, his 10th of the summer, and it finishes things off here in the 6th. 1 hit, no runs for the Kettleers, and the Braves an 11-5 lead as we head to the 7th here from Lowell Park.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
I'm Isaiah Jackson, and you're listening to Bourne Braves Baseball Network.
Third call of the bullpen for the Kettleers as we enter the 7th year from Lowell Park on this Sunday night for game number 40, the last one of the regular season. It's Harry Dilianis, the right-handed pitcher from Pomona Pitzer, now going to Valpo. 47 innings this past spring in a large starting role on a 5.7 ERA. He'll take the ball from Brock Pear. It was 2 innings for Hunter, 2 innings for Joe Sabbath as well. And now Dilianis will have the ability here to keep it where it is. But the Bourne Braves 11-5 lead has been commanding here tonight. 6, 7, 8, 9 for Bourne. Here's the righty Davis Gillespie. And the first pitch he sees is way up in the zone.
For Dilianis, making his 6th total appearance of the summer, his first with Cotuit. The first 5 came with Martha's Vineyard in the NECBL.
He winds and deals from the windup. Another breaking ball that's low and outside. The righty stands at an even 6 foot. out of Bloomington, Indiana. Gillespie sees a 2-0 pitch, and he drives a 2-0 pitch relatively deep in right center. Davalon there. He makes the catch with 2 steps to his left side, and Gillespie goes down for the second time after coming in with a 2-hit night.
And both of his outs have gone to Davalon in center field. Make it 4 really well-hit baseballs today by Gillespie. The last 2 have just hung up a little too long.
Gives way to Blake Barthel, one of the many Bourne Braves players in the bottom of this order that have had an outstanding night. 1 for 2 has reached base twice, had an RBI single back in the second. First pitch to the lefty. He goes chasing at a breaking ball low and inside. Walked and scored in the 5th as well, one of the 3 runs for the Braves. But you look at 5 through 9 in this order. Becerra's reached base twice as a home run. Gillespie twice on the bags. Barthel the same. Neville with 2. And then John Schroeder with 2 home runs and a walk. Delianis steps off here. Was about to wind and deal. As Grant J. talking to Mike Hinojosa about not having the pitch comm correct with Delianis there, and just a pitch communication issue. Hinojosa pointing at his right ear towards the Cotuit dugout. Here's that 0-1 pitch to Barthel. Fastball at the Braves' letters in their first strike. Barthel came in. You go back to the last meeting of these 2 squads. 5 for his last 11, 3 for 6 in his last 4 games coming in. What a turnaround it's been for the Coastal Carolina infielder. Delianis rocks and deals. 0-2, swing and a miss. His first strikeout out of the bullpen, and there's 2 down here in top 7.
Delianis has always had that strikeout stuff throughout his time with Pomona Pitzer, 42 this past spring, 77 in 2023, even 81 back in 2022. Also about a strikeout per inning in both his years with Martha's Vineyard.
He'll face Mason Neville here. Second lefty in a row that he'll see. First pitch fastball in there on the inner half of the knees. Neville, the big RBI double in the 5th inning that sailed in left center field. There's been that wind here tonight that's played a factor. Also walked back in the 2nd inning. 0-1 pitch. Neville dances out of the way. It's a 1-1 count. Right now the Braves with this commanding 11-5 lead in top 7. Last time we checked, Falmouth with a 4-1 lead over Wareham. If Bourne wins, Falmouth wins. The Braves back here as this pitch is up and outside for a 2-1 count. Bourne would be back here come Tuesday for a 1-game playoff. Wareham has put up a 2 spot. It's now a 4-3 game. Still very early, bottom 2. Delianis first base side of the rubber, 2 shakes. 5 on that pitch clock. Here's the 2-1 delivery to Neville. Check swing, low pitch. They check down. He did not go around, says Jacob Ashworth, the third base umpire. Neville 0 for his last 5 coming into this game, but now 2 RBIs on his summer, had his first extra base hit in his last AB. The hitting has been contagious for the Braves. 3-1 in the attic. 5-pitch walk for Neville. 2-out base runner here for the Braves as John Schroeder, the name so far tonight that has rung in the ears of the Braves fans and the Cotuit faithful here. 2 home runs and 4 RBIs with the grand slam, and then his last shot brought in 2 more runs.
And 6 RBIs, the most RBIs in a single game by a Bourne player this summer. Looking to add to an already spectacular day, which has included a caught base runner.
As a pick over to first base, Neville back at first. Schroeder's hit from the left side every single time so far. Came in with 3 RBIs, now with 9 on the 2 home runs. First pitch to Schroeder. Up and outside at 78 on the off speed. You wonder, too, how much Delianis pitches straight to Schroeder here. Seeing the ball so well, went dead center and went right field 407 feet for the grand slam. 1-0 pitch. Schroeder a ground ball foul down the first base line. The switch hitting catcher out of FAU. 7th game for the Braves. Early on, his first 2 games had all 3 of those RBIs. Slowed down since. Came in 4 for his last 21. Shift on here for Cotuit. Tyler Cerny, the shortstop, up the middle. And Becerra shading at third base. 2-1. Down Main Street for a strike. And Delianis a pitch away from working out of this top of the 7th. Looking to keep it where it is at a 6-run ball game. 10 hits for the Braves, 8 for Cotuit. They're there in that battle. But Bourne, as we mentioned, the long ball here tonight. Neville 2 steps off first. 1-2 pitch, just up and away. No substitutions for the Braves. They've kept this lineup. Not their A lineup per se, but they have come up big here. The first time we've seen Scott Landers go with this 9. 2-2. Schroeder pops it up behind home plate. Jay throws the mask, runs to his left side, makes the catch in the Braves on deck circle, and it ends the inning. 1 base runner and no hits for the Braves here in top 7. We'll stretch it out here from Lowell Park. Bourne still in front of Cotuit, 11-5.
When you need to dig, lift, move, cut, or just about anything else, then dial up the Rental Source staffed with equipment and construction experts. They'll help you get the right machine for the job and make sure it's delivered when and where you need it. With locations across New England and the newest and most reliable inventory, Milton Rents is your local source.
Marty Chevrolet, your dealer for the people, proudly supports the Bourne Braves baseball team. See all our cars and trucks at martychevrolet.com and go Braves. Savor the moment with Portside Liquors. Discover a world of fine wines, spirits, and craft beer, handpicked for every occasion. From rich reds to smooth spirits, elevate your experience with us. Unwind with excellence. Visit us today at Portside Liquors, 590A, MacArthur Boulevard, where every sip tells a story. Keystone Place at Buzzards Bay, Bourne's premier senior living community, conventionally located adjacent to the Cape Cod Canal. Visit us at Keystone Place at buzzardsbay.com.
We've stretched it out here from Lowell Park for game number 40, the finale of the regular season between the Kets and the Bravos. Once again, thanks so much for joining us on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network. Alongside Nathan Schwartz, Cam Manna with you. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday night. And the Braves fans definitely are. An 11-5 lead over the Kets as Bourne looks to win their second straight against Cotuit. Their third straight after the doubleheader sweep last night over Orleans. Packy Bradley Cooney, the righty out of Alabama, back on the bump. His second inning of work. He'll face 3-4-5 for Cotuit. Here's the lefty out of Indiana in Devin Taylor. Steps in, bat on his shoulder. Bradley Cooney does that rock. Throws his hands sky high and rocks and deals. First pitch fastball, low and inside. Taylor singled and scored back in the third. A strikeout in the fourth inning. Back-to-back years, first team Big Ten for the Hoosiers. First player in program history ever to do that. Bradley Cooney's 1-0. This one just off the mark on the outer half. Back to some scores around the league. We'll keep updating you on what goes on with Falmouth and Wareham. At the moment, the Commodores a 5-3 lead, extending it by 1 run in the last 5 minutes.
It was a Trent Caraway solo home run.
Bradley Cooney, 2-0. Foul tipped from Taylor into the glove. And once again, if Bourne wins and the Gatemen lose, the Braves back here on Tuesday for the one-game playoff against the Kettleers. 11-5 lead for Bourne on 10 hits here tonight. And 3 home runs, 2 off the bat from John Schroeder. 2-1 pitch from Bradley Cooney. Airs outside on the off-speed. It's 3-1. The leadoff base runners have been here for Cotuit tonight. They had one back in the 5th when they scored 1 run. And at 4 spot in the 3rd, had a leadoff base runner. 3-1 pitch. This one crushed from Taylor to right field. He will watch this one not fly. Neville makes the catch against the wall. Taylor off the bat pimped the baseball and was jogging out of the box, and then Neville keeps it in the ballpark, running into the wall in right field, and it's an out number 1 for the Braves.
And there's that Devin Taylor swing that Bourne really hasn't seen a whole lot of this summer. Coming in, Taylor had struggled against this Bourne pitching staff. 2 for 11 with an RBI on a sac fly. And now, so far in this game for Taylor, he did have that single in the third on a little bloop, but 1 for 4 overall as Scott Landers will pull the plug on Packy Bradley Cooney.
Bradley Cooney out of the game. 1 hit allowed on no runs out of the bullpen. Bourne will bring in their 4th overall pitcher, their 3rd out of the bullpen, with 1 away here in bottom 7 when you return on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network.
Convention Data Services, or CDS, is an event technology company based in Bourne and a proud supporter of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Since 1986, CDS has been delivering customized solutions to the global trade show industry. Keep up with CDS at cdsreg.com, cdsreg.com, and follow them on Facebook and LinkedIn.
Savor the moment with Portside Liquors. Discover a world of fine wines, spirits, and craft beer handpicked for every occasion. From rich reds to smooth spirits, elevate your experience with us. Unwind with excellence. Visit us today at 590A MacArthur Boulevard, where every sip tells a story. Marty Chevrolet is your dealer for the people and proudly supports Bourne Braves baseball. See all our cars and trucks at martychevrolet.com and go Braves.
I'm Chris Stanfield, and you're listening to the Bourne Braves Baseball Network.
Called to the bullpen for the 3rd time tonight for the Braves, and they bring in the left-hander at Wake Forest in Cam Nelson for his 2nd appearance on an 11-5 lead for Bourne with 1 away in bottom 7, what likely could also be the last half inning of this one as the darkness has flooded in here from Lowell Park.
And for Nelson, just trying to get a major bounce back from his last appearance, which came on Thursday against the Commodores, his lone appearance with the Bravos. He did get through that inning that he pitched, but 2 earned runs, 2 walks. The control was a big issue. He never really settled into that appearance with the fastball, and then his off-speed really couldn't play off of it either. What you will see from Nelson is a wicked slider with a lot of horizontal and vertical movement on it. Let's see if he uses that here with 1 away in the 7th.
He had that against Falmouth just a few days ago, but he was just commanding that slider. We saw that spark. 4-5-6, here's Charles Davila, the lefty. Nelson's first pitch fastball at 92 way outside. We mentioned it, the 2 walks, the 2 hit-by pitches. Just that 1 inning of work for Nelson. The 2-way player, the Demon Deacon. Now 4 Wake Forest players on this Braves roster. From the stretch is Nelson. High leg kick, 1-0. The low fastball swarms in on the outer half. It's 1-1. Nathan Hall and Tyler Cerny to follow here for Cotuit, trailing the Braves 11-5 in bottom 7. Glove at the chest is Nelson. 1-1 offering. And a swing and a miss there from Davilon. Back to the heater here from Nelson to begin. That 190 working away from the lefty.
And you're going to see him try to focus in on getting that fastball command first and then try and work in that slider. We could see it here with 2 strikes.
It was a 2-run double for Davilon back in the 3rd on that 4 spot for the Cats. 1-2-1 away. Nelson way outside to the backstop. It's a 2-2 count. A walk as well for Davilon in the 5th inning. He scored as well. Has produced runs tonight for the Kettleers. Outside of those 2 innings, though, they have been quiet. Nelson sets back up. A deep breath on the 2-2 pitch. There's the slider. It's skied foul territory on the third base side. Lewis comes in, he makes the catch, running in towards home plate, and it's the second out.
Third time tonight that David Lewis has gotten a foul ball on that third base side against the top 4 hitters in this Cotuit order. It was Compton and Thatch on back-to-back pitches in the 4th. Now Davalon for out number 2 in the 7th.
And Nathan Hall, probably the last man here tonight for the Kettleers. 1 for 3, singled back in the 2nd. The rising junior out of Clemson will step in. And Nelson looking for a second out to close this one out. First pitch, fastball down Broadway. He appeared in 45 games, making 26 starts on the offensive side. 17 hits. And then had the 10 strikeouts and 5 2/3 innings of work on the pitching side. 0-1. That slider dips low, just on top of it. Second time he's thrown that here in this appearance. Bourne not playing their usual starters here tonight in a game that doesn't mean a ton. Bourne clinching that 4 or 3 spot and using a lot of different pitchers. Meadow, his first start. Jackson Mitchell, Bradley Cooney, now Cam Nelson. Not the usual rotation you'll see from Bourne. As the 1-1 grounded up the middle. Kojal, glove side charging. A sidearm sling to first base. And that ends the bottom half of the 7th inning. The umpires converse here. We'll see what the final call is here with the darkness. Top of the 8th inning would come up at the moment on a Braves 11-5 lead. If Bourne takes this game, would be back-to-back wins against the Cats here from Lowell Park. Their 21st of the summer. And Cotuit would fall to 22-7 finish off the regular season. And this could likely bring the Braves back to Lowell Park come Tuesday. Here come the umpires, Mike Hinojosa and his whole entire crew, Jake Brickta, Jacob Ashworth. Scott Landers comes to home plate, seeing with Mike Roberts. We'll see if they're going to play the 8th inning or likely end this thing here in the 7th. We saw the darkness-induced battle on July 6th, where Cotuit won in 5.5 innings. They won that game 8-7 on a Tanner Thatch 3-run home run. That was the difference in that one. Bourne could get one back here with the darkness. Mike Roberts almost arguing with the umpires here about some darkness. I don't even know what the conversation is, but Roberts definitely not happy about something, arguing with Mike Hinojosa. And Scott Landers poised there with his arms crossed, not saying a word.
And I think he's just letting the umpires make the decision. Of course, Roberts and the rest of this Cotuit team has to deal with this on a nightly basis here at home. Mike Roberts is likely pleading that they've played in darker scenarios before. Based on his body language, I got to think that's what he's trying to plead against this umpiring crew. But I think Scott Landers would be just fine if they call this game with an 11-5 Bourne victory.
Mike Roberts not happy at all right now, almost chewing out Mike Hinojosa. Scott Landers just waiting there, kind of tapped Mike Hinojosa to say, all right, we're all good, whatever happens here. Let's see what they'll do. And Mike Roberts just argued to continue to play this baseball game. So this is not enough darkness, even though the one on July 6th maybe was enough. So we'll keep playing baseball here. Bourne with a 6-run lead over the Cats as we head to top 8 here from Lowell Park.
Keystone Place at Buzzards Bay is Bourne's premier senior living community, conveniently located adjacent to the Cape Cod Canal. Visit us today at KeystonePlace at buzzardsbay.com. Convention Data Services, or CDS, is an events technology company based in Bourne and a proud supporter of Cape Cod baseball. Since 1986, CDS has been delivering customized solutions to the global trade show industry. Keep up with CDS at cdsreg.com and follow them on Facebook and LinkedIn.
Hello, I'm Cam Kojal, and you're listening to the Bourne Braves Baseball Network.
Welcome back to the Bourne Braves Baseball Network on this Sunday night for game number 40 of the Cape League season. Alongside Nathan Schwartz, Cam Manna with you. So glad you could join us. And the Braves in 11-5 lead over the Kettleers for the finale. Cotuit back to their bullpen for the fourth time. It's the right-hander out of Arizona, Bryce McKnight. 4 appearances this past spring for the Pac-12 champs. And he'll face the top of the Braves order, Isaiah Jackson, Cam Kozel, and David Lewis here to begin as Bourne looks for insurance.
And you never can have enough against this Cotuit order that is just filled with talent from top to bottom. And you have the top 30 of your order to do it.
They're ready from the stretch. A first pitch swing and a miss from Jackson. Single to lead off this game. A ground out, a fly out, and a strikeout since for the Sun Devil. AU and ASU here to begin. As time called for Mike Hinojosa. There was that argument to finish off the bottom half of the 7th about darkness. No lights here at Lowell Park, but Mike Roberts and Scott Lanners talking to the umps. They continue to play. As the 0-1 in their first strike on the off speed, just near the hands of Jackson. It's 0-2. So likely this is the last inning. Cotuit will have that last chance in bottom 8. Trailing by 6 runs. McKnight, high leg kick from the stretch. 0-2 fastball, called strike 3. Inner half, rings up Jackson, who doesn't love the call. It's out number 1. And the second time Jackson goes down on strikes.
Looks pretty good according to the TrackMan data painted on the inside corner from Bryce McKnight in his first appearance with Cotuit. And he gets the leadoff man both in this inning and overall.
Another lefty here in Cam Kozel. Has one hit here tonight. First pitch he sees, he fouls straight back. McKnight just 3 1/3 innings for the Wildcats on 9 earned runs. And that finishes up the night on the Kettleers side for Delianis. 1 1/3 innings pitched, 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. Pair went 2 innings. As Kozel sees a pitch low, it's a 1-1 count. So 3 pitchers that go 2 innings, 1 1/3 for a Cotuit arm, and they bring in here Bryce McKnight. Rocks and deals in the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Kozel way out in front on a very nice slider that just snapped inside.
And for McKnight, started his summer with the Ocean State Waves in the NECBL, a 5.27 ERA in 27 innings.
Is 1-2 in the dirt. Both sides not using their top arms, understanding a playoff game on Tuesday. Cotuit going with a lot of their new arms here. All these newcomers coming in outside of Eaton Hunter that we've seen as a returner and a guy that Bourne has seen this summer. 2-2 pitch to the Razorback. Swing and a miss, and going around is Kozel on the sword. Second punch out here for McKnight out of the bullpen. And looking to settle things down, give the Cats a chance in bottom 8.
That's all you can do at this point. If you're McKnight, just give your team, your offense, the best chance to win. Even though down by 6, keeping this deficit where it's at, it's going to be crucial for Cotuit in the bottom half.
David Lewis, maybe the last man here in the top of the 8th. First pitch low and outside. Lewis a single and a run back in the 6th. Walked in the second, fielder's choice in the first. That hit was a laser to left field. 1-0. Fastball. Hearts in for a strike. 2 for 3 in game 1 yesterday was Lewis in the doubleheader against Orleans with 2 RBIs. 1-1. Off speed, low and outside. Just his 5th game of the summer, but is given some stability when he's had the chance to play. And now with his 2nd start in the last 3 games. McKnight glove with the belt, first base side of the rubber. 2-1. Fastball at the belt. It's a called strike. Cotuit looking for a 1-2-3. Would be their first on the pitching side here tonight. Bourne offense with 10 hits and 11 runs. 2-2 hangs up and in. Not on top of the off speed is McKnight. Garrett Michelle to follow. He'll wait on deck. He's the only Braves hitter in this one to not reach base. McKnight, long look, 5 on the pitch clock. Payoff pitch, Lewis, another line drive into the left field alley. Rolls all the way to the wall. Man, he smoked that baseball. Lewis rounds first base. He'll park into second with a double. 2-hit night for Lewis, and his first extra base hit on the summer.
And just his third multi-hit game so far for Bourne. It's been amazing to see what he's been able to do in such a limited amount of time. 3 multi-hit games in 5 total games played for David Lewis. Right there, he goes triple digits off the bat. A clean 100 against the right-hander in McKnight to finally get that first extra base knock.
Here's his newest teammate, the Hokie, and Garrett Michelle. First pitch to the lefty is way up top. North Greenville for David Lewis, transferring to Virginia Tech in the ACC. Michelle, the RBI ground out back in the 6th. 2 hard-hit balls and back-to-back ABs. McKnight from the stretch, 1-0, spiked. And just scooped from the backstop in Grant J. Insurance is always big here for the Braves. 6-run lead here in top 8 from Lowell Park. Final game of the regular season. Michelle with now 16 RBIs this summer. Picked up that 16th in his last AB. 2-0. Michelle swings through it. Almost that check swing. 3/4 going around was Michelle, who's riding in on a 5-game hit streak. 1 for 4 last night. His last chance to keep that alive right here. 2-step leadoff second is Lewis. Cerny, the shortstop, holds him on. 2-1. Up and in, it misses. The 3-1 count.
And for Michelle, also trying to become the final starter for Bourne to reach base safely in this game.
He leans back, bat on his shoulder. 3-1, he could expect fastball here from McKnight. His pitch is a fastball, and Michelle fouls it back. Payoff pitch here coming up. Lewis on the payoff, launched that double into left center field. He's on second base. If it does get to him, Tristan Becerra on deck. McKnight looks in, stands tall. Michelle wide stance and wide and choking up. Payoff pitch, low and inside. Michelle works the walk, gets on base. That hit streak will end. But now every Bourne Braves batter has reached base here tonight, and it's first and second with 2 away for Tristan Becerra.
Another great at-bat by Michelle. Dating all the way back to the game on the 10th against Brewster where he had 4 hits. He now has 13 walks since, up to 18 total on his summer. Despite the hits not being consistently there, he's been getting on base a whole lot recently.
Here's the Clemson Tiger and Becerra. First pitch to the lefty. Fastball in there for a strike. That solo homer to lead off the 3rd inning. Led off the 2nd with a walk, where the Braves put up a 5 spot. Has not been on base since. McKnight's 0-1 pitch. This one off the foot of Becerra. On an off-speed that just swarmed in on the left foot of Becerra. He'll head down to first base. And the base is now juiced for Davis Gillespie, who's riding a 2-hit night.
And for Bourne, again, another chance with the bases loaded, but also another chance for 2-out RBIs. They had 2 in the 5th on Schroeder's 2-run home run, up to now 23 in the last 8 games.
The outfielder at a Southern Miss. First pitch to the righty. Off speed out the letters, it's in there. As McKnight was losing that pitch, finally back in the zone. A single and a double for Gillespie to begin. Scored on a walk in the 3rd inning. 2 flyouts since. Waves the bat, McKnight sets. 0-1. Fastball, this one up. Infield back here for Cotuit. 3rd baseman in Becerra, even with the bag. Outfield straight away here for the Kettleers. 11-5 Bourne here in top 8. Michelle off 2nd, Lewis off 3rd base, and Becerra off 1st. The 1-1. Fastball painted on the outer half. It's 1-2. And yet again for McKnight, he's 1 strike, 1 pitch away from working out of this inning to the 3rd straight batter. Gillespie had his first extra base hit back in the 3rd. Looking to make this a 3-hit night. McKnight sets the 1-2. Swing and a miss. 3 outs for McKnight, all via the K. And that one is going to finish it off, darkness induced. So the umps called it. The Bourne Braves batted even though they're the road team. So that will end it here from Lowell Park. The Braves finale. They win it. 21 wins for Bourne this summer. 11-5 the final in 7.5 innings of play here from Lowell Park. The Braves win game number 40, take down Cotuit back-to-back times, and likely will be back here on Tuesday for the one-game playoff.
And what a regular season finish it was for the Bravos. You go into the month of July, 4-8-1. A winning record didn't seem possible at some times throughout the month of July. But in the last 8 games, you go unbeaten, 7-0-1. You don't lose since that second fallout you had at home against the Red Sox. You finished 9-1-1 in your last 11 games. You are able to turn around those 2-out struggles to get 23 2-out RBIs in the final 8 games, and you're playing your best brand of baseball going into the postseason. That's exactly what this team has done the last 2 years. They've gotten championships out of both of those postseason appearances, and now here this year, who knows what can happen, but it's a good start for Bourne heading into Tuesday.
And it's not been just one player. It's not been just one thing that has worked for the Braves. It has been everything at the moment. The pitching here's solid tonight with the arms and Bourne not throwing their top guys, saving it for Tuesday. And you throw in kind of your B quote-unquote lineup, and they come together very well. 11 hits here in this one. You have the 11 runs. John Schroeder with 6 RBIs on the 2 home runs that he had, one of them being a grand slam. Everyone reaches base. That's a sight to see.
Yeah, no Holcomb, no Meggers, no Houston, no Conrad, no Stanfield, no problem for this Bourne offense. You get 11 runs to score, the 3 homers. Schroeder with a absolute breakout game with the grand slam and the 2-run shot to straightaway center field. He combines to go over 800 feet with those 2 swings. And this Bourne team finding its power at the perfect time heading into that one-game playoff where you're going to want to have a couple of home runs.
It's a 5-3 lead at the moment for Falmouth. If that holds in the 9-inning game and Wareham loses, the Braves back here on Tuesday from Lowell Park for the 4th time this summer, and it would be a battle between the Kets and the Braves in the first round once again. Bourne took the 3-game set last summer, 2-0. But we'll say our goodbyes here tonight for the final regular season game of 2024, with the Braves being victorious in this one, 11-5. Per our producer, Jeremy Gay, always doing a great job. Our sideline reporter, Adam Gotkin, who you did not hear from tonight, but you will hear from him on Tuesday. My man, Nathan Schwartz. I'm Cam Manna saying so long here on this Sunday night. Enjoy your Sunday. And the Braves take the finale from the Cats, 11-5.